of Pirate.
You can paint this with purple.
Now,
welcome into Pirate Radio Live on a Wednesday. Clip Rock here with you on Pirate Radio 92.7 FM in Greenville, 104.1 in Washington, 1250, 930 online at PR9. Appearances on today's program, including at 4 o'clock. Wager McGhee going to go down the college football and NFL card. We'll talk about all the action, all the games, make a few picks. That's on the way at 4 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, former ECU tight end Bryce Williams joins me here inside the Pirate Radio studios. We will hear what Mike Houston had to say and get Bryce's comments on that coming up later on in today's program. The voice of Charles going to join us live from Big Ten Country. And we have some Big Ten news to talk about, and also excited to welcome on in hour number one, Emory Hunt, football game plan. You can see him on CBS Sports headquarters, also part of Sportsline as well. So looking forward to talking all things football, ECU and otherwise with Emory Hunt coming up, show off. And see what's on Shirley's news sheet, if anything's going on today, I guess.
Didn't see it until this morning, so I don't know if it came out late last night or early this morning, but 24th in that vicinity been decided as a maybe. But as of right now, nothing else has come up with that as far as the Big Ten goes.
Looks like it sounds like that might prevent them from trying to play football in the fall. You hear a lot more about Big Ten, and you have in the last few weeks than you have the Pac-12. It seems like they're pretty set on not playing, although who knows? The Big Ten opted back in. Maybe the Pac-12 could at some point.
Yeah, but I just think with the Pac-12, and especially where those schools are located, and they are pretty much in the heart of that wildfire situation, unless that wildfire situation gets under control in the next, couple of weeks, I seriously doubt that they're even going to try to, because there's going to be homes and potentially losing family. There's just a lot going on that I don't think the Pac-12 is even sniffing a football season right now.
Looking at what's coming up tonight in the world of sports, kind of sad. No football, no basketball tonight, as we had two games in the NBA playoffs last night. The Heat coming back and winning game one in overtime against the Celtics. And how about the Nuggets? They were down 3-1 in their series to Utah. They come back and win that one. They're down 3-1 in their series to the Clippers. They come back and win that one going away last night. What a game by Jokic. And, of course, Murray as well for those Nuggets who advanced to take on the Lakers. So none of that going on tonight. We do have baseball. The Braves finally got over their whatever funk they have when they play against the Orioles. And we were able to beat Baltimore last night as Adam Duvall continues to crush the ball, as does Freddie Freeman. We've got O's baseball coming your way tonight right here on Pirate Radio as they take on the Braves. Before that, we've got a Pirate Radio podcast, Shirley Rhodes, and
that's
a new one, right?
Yeah, it's a brand new Pirate Radio podcast, and Jonathan Ellerby had a chance to go one-on-one with Coach Mac McCarthy to talk about his new book. It's called What I'm About to Tell You is the Truth or Could Be, My Accidental Career Path. Coach Mac will discuss the reasons for writing the book. He'll also give us some fun stories from his career in college athletics, including his stop at ECU. So that'll be coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. You can also subscribe to the Pirate Radio podcast in your Apple store if you want to listen to it, if you can't listen to it at 6 o'clock. But we'll have that at 6, and then we will join the Orioles and Braves at 7:30 tonight. I do have a couple of other news and notes for you while I'm thinking about it. A couple of ECU-related information. First of all, got a Dwayne Harris, of course, is a free agent right now and looking for a job. The Texans gave him a call and invited him to participate in workouts yesterday. He is still in Houston as of right now, but he worked out for them yesterday, so we'll wait and see if anything comes from that. Also, ECU announced that, of course, with the phase 2.5 that the governor has set forth, that you can only have 50 people outside at a gathering. So ECU is going to allow 50 tickets, so they're going to maximize that 50 for parents of the upperclassmen for the game on September 26th. So at least some of the parents will be able to attend the game there. And one other note, this is not college football related, but it is college basketball related. The NCAA is planning to announce sometime after 5 o'clock today the official date for when college hoop season will begin. So we'll keep an eye on that in the 5 o'clock hour. If that pops up, we'll let you know about that.
Sounds good. Good stuff from the Shirley Rhodes news desk. We've got comments from Mike Houston coming up in just a little bit. In fact, he was, I believe, asked about the players' family being able to watch them play at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium, so we'll get to that. But first, Shirley, before we get to the Zoom after our first time out, I want to play this cut because I got to be honest, this fired me up. I saw this on Twitter last night. This is from the official ECU Athletics account. It's Mike Houston talking to his football team.
11 a.m., I have a game day operations meeting. That means we're having a freaking game. Okay? Next Saturday. It's here. Okay? It's no longer a wish, a maybe, or whatever. We're playing September the 26th. Okay? That's why it's urgency time. Excitement time. Yes, sir. And urgency time.
We're not just having a game or a practice or scrimmage.
We're having a freaking game.
It's a freaking game, Shirley.
We're having a freaking game.
That freaking right there added 2 wins, maybe 3, to my preseason ECU prediction.
Excitement time.
It's excitement time for sure.
Absolutely.
Because we're having a freaking game.
We're having a freaking game.
Freaking. I haven't heard. I mean, Roy Williams has nothing on Mike Houston's freaking.
Oh, yeah.
We're having a freaking game.
A freaking game.
It's just the enunciation.
The passion.
The power behind the word.
The power.
A freaking game.
A freaking game. Excitement time.
Excitement time.
It is excitement time.
Excitement time.
Oh, are you kidding me? I'm jacked up now.
I'm ready now.
Like that really
that's
put me over the edge, I think.
That is that extra step that you know that game day is coming.
A freaking game day, Shirley. It's not game day.
We're having a freaking game.
Freaking, and I'll give credit to Brad for this on Twitter, said that we're going to have to rename it to Dowdy freaking Stadium.
We're having a freaking game.
Love it.
Freaking game.
I love it.
Excitement time.
Excitement time.
That's what we need. We need that on a T-shirt.
Excitement time.
Excitement time.
Yeah. And then on the back of the shirt.
We're having a freaking game.
We're having a freaking
game.
That freaking game is coming up, not this Saturday, but next Saturday against UCF. And our pregame coverage, our freaking pregame coverage, will begin at 8 a.m. bright and early.
Excitement time.
Excitement time. Get out of bed. It's excitement time.
Wake up.
We're having a freaking game. We're having a freaking pregame show next Saturday, the 26th, 8 a.m. bright and early, the Bud Light pregame tailgate.
I cannot wait.
Excitement time.
Excitement time.
Kegs and eggs, baby.
All right, let's take a time out. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention in our show rundown, we also have to open up the booty bag today.
Oh, yeah, booty bag.
Well, excitement time. We've got something to give away.
Excitement time.
What do I have to give away
What are we
today?
giving away today?
I got to go through all my papers because I have like a whole stack of paper over here.
A lot of paper. My stapler.
Where is my stapler? Okay.
Car wash yesterday.
Car wash yesterday. What did we do on Monday? Did we do tiebreakers on Monday?
No, ma'am. We did a large
pizza. We did a
pizza to Domino's.
Let's do tiebreakers.
Tiebreakers. Lunch for 2 to tiebreakers is on the line today. Excitement time here inside the
Excitement time.
Thank
We're
you.
having a freaking game.
Yes, we are.
God,
All right.
Why do I feel like Jim Rome all of a sudden?
Look, we just ended Romy. If you want to grab a vine, call into the jungle, 317-1250.
We're having a freaking game.
Have a take, don't suck. Give me back my son! We're having a... We need to get all... I'm going to test Shirley one day. I'm going to have all the clips loaded up. Monkeys. All the old Jim Rome classics. But right now, all we got is excitement time, and we're having a freaking game. All right.
Excitement time. We're having a freaking game.
We'll take a time out. Come back more from Mike Houston. Excitement time. We're back after this.
How about CPW's?
Is that the restaurant with the really good lasagna?
It sure is.
Is that the place we got the awesome meat pizza?
Yep, that's the place. Should we do dine in or take out?
I'm tired of eating it. Let's go there!
Just say no to cooking tonight and bring the family, or make it a date night at CPW's. CPW's is open daily at 3 p.m. and has been serving the Greenville community since 1995. CPW's in the Food Lion Shopping Center near the hospital.
My whole business just went up in flames. But my agent was there before the fire was out. We started a plan. I've got 25 employees who could be out of a job if we didn't get this place running again. My independent agent and auto owner's insurance, they made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll. That's incredible.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
This is Brian Smith with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
Ahoy, mateys! To keep those cars clean, you need the Pirates Cove Fast Pass.
The new Pirates Cove Car Wash and Haviland Express Lube on Glen Burnie Road in New Bern is now open. Pirates Cove is now offering Fast Passes for $9.99 for new Fast Pass customers. These Fast Passes are good in New Bern and at all 3 Greenville locations. Visit us in Greenville on Fire Tower Road, Memorial Drive, and on East 10th Street. And now in New Bern on Glen Burnie Road.
So we have you surrounded. Pirates Cove, the official car wash partner of ECU Athletics.
Did you know your small change can make a difference? The next time you visit McDonald's, please consider rounding up for the Ronald McDonald House. Your change adds up and can help many folks in Eastern North Carolina. Just $10 can provide a free night stay for families with sick children here in Eastern North Carolina and across the state. Just ask your cashier at checkout or choose to round up for RMHC when ordering through the McDonald's app. Thank you for visiting your local McDonald's owned by Dixon Foods and for your support of the Ronald McDonald House of Eastern North Carolina.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender.
Hey, this is Chef Dave Finelli. Have you got $60 extra a week or just got $60 a week? I can feed you dinner 6 nights a week for total $60. Maybe you haven't heard about this, my Heart Healthy Home Meals. I give you 6 meals a week. You pick them up at Pops. It's $60 a week. I guarantee you go out to eat one time, you spend more than $60. I guarantee you, if you go to the grocery store one time, you spend more than $60. And then you still got to tip, and then you still got to cook and prep and worry. Forget all that. I got you. $60 a week. Let me know. I'm right there at Pops. You know how to reach me.
University PC Care has been the Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. Your office deserves a proactive tech support approach instead of always reacting to issues after the damage is done. You need BizCare. BizCare tech support and cybersecurity plans keep you ahead of potential issues and much safer from cyber threats like ransomware. What's at your office? Call William today to schedule your free BizCare consultation or learn more at universitypccare.com.
Great news, amigos. Chico's Dine-In Service is back open every day. Come and enjoy favorites like shrimp tacos, steak and chicken fajitas, burritos, enchiladas, ACP, and more. Chico's is still offering to-go and curbside service as well by calling 757-1666. Don't forget to stock up on Chico's famous margarita mix for only $9.99 per half gallon. Follow Chico's on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's for dine-in or to-go.
This is Big John Williams, strength and conditioning coach for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
Get to stock up on Chico.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. The best investment you can make is in yourself. Get educated and make prudent decisions about your financial future. Contact David Dahm at Carolina Wealth Management today at 439-1344 for a free consultation. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
Back with you on Pirate Radio Live on a Wednesday. Coming up later on in hour number 1, we will talk to Emory Hunt. Football game plan, CBES Sports HQ, also Sportsline. He'll join us to talk some ECU football, look around the AAC, the ACC, and some of the action going on this weekend. Also, Wager McGhee at 4 o'clock as we'll run down the full slate for your football weekend. Former ECU tight end Bryce Williams and Jeff Charles going to join us in hour number 3 of today's show. We've already heard a little bit of Mike Houston, Shirley. Of course, we're having a freaking game coming up.
We're having a freaking game.
Next Saturday. Also, it is excitement time.
Excitement time!
Excitement time! So we are jacked up and ready for some football. Let's hear more of Mike Houston as he spoke with members of the media in a Zoom following yesterday's practice. Here were his opening statements.
Finished up a good Tuesday practice. Actually did also practice very short and very, very light on Sunday, and then had our typical Sunday practice on Monday, which is usually our day off. We're going to take our day off this coming Saturday for this week. And so, spent a lot of time Sunday looking at the scrimmage tape from Friday. Then yesterday started our install of UCF and worked a lot of special team situations, and then had our typical Tuesday practice today. So, trying to start, orienting all of the new additions and the young kids, just to, what practice week looks like, what a game week looks like, introduction of the scout teams, look teams. So now you have, part of our team running UCF offense and defensive plays against our, first and second units. So, a lot of change this week. And then, finally an emphasis on somebody besides ourselves, an emphasis on the University of Central Florida. So good start to the week. Really want to kind of work out all the kinks and all the wrinkles this week that we can go into next week kind of locked in.
Unfortunately, last week we learned that there would be no waiver for family members of the football team, but there is still that 50 number out there that, 50 people can gather at an outdoor event, and you got a 50,000 seat stadium there. And Mike Houston addressed that cut 7 about having to try to get some of the players' family members, parents into Dowdy Ficklen Stadium next Saturday.
We're allowed 50 fans in our 50,000 seat stadium. So we're going to prioritize, our upperclassmen parents, still working out the details of, how many tickets a kid can get. If we give everybody 2, then that's, obviously only 25 kids can get tickets. So we're going to try to, work a structure to where it's fair to our juniors and seniors. And hopefully everybody can at least get 1 ticket.
Yeah, I mean, look, that stinks. You could clearly space a lot of people out at Dowdy Ficklen Stadium when you have 50,000 seats, but they're going to, follow the rules and the protocols there and try to figure out who they will allow into Dowdy Ficklen Stadium for the frickin' game next Saturday.
We're having a frickin' game
when they take on at UCF. Shirley, let's do 11. Get an update on that situation.
We're getting better. We've got a large number that came out of quarantine this week. Some of them we're in isolation, so they're in the return to play protocol. They're at a variety of different levels. We do have 1 active positive case still out. I do not anticipate that player being available for Central Florida. But the hopes is that we can get everybody back this week. That way everybody's ready to go at the beginning of next week, and we can do a great job with our testing the next.
Available to play against UCF. We don't have that name, don't know who that is, but you know what? I'll take it. I mean, it sounds like they're going to have a pretty full arsenal when it comes to ECU at UCF coming up on the 26th of September, and that'd be great to have all those available bodies for that game, Shirley.
Well, that was one of the things that Mike Houston wanted to address when he first got here, is increasing the depth of the team, and he's been able to do that now, and that's, of course, pandemic aside. So depth is becoming, an even more crucial issue during this situation with COVID. So glad to know that we're going to have as many bodies as possible for that game on the 26th.
Stephen Igo was here yesterday, said he was kind of running out of questions at this point. The offseason has been so long as we gear up for that September 26th game against UCF. But he did say he was going to ask Mike Houston about the biggest surprise for him, for his football team this fall camp. And he asked the question, and Mike Houston had a pretty good answer for that. Shirley, cut 8.
The change in culture in the locker room, the positive attitudes. There's no griping and belly aching and locker room lawyers and just handling crap. It's been a group that I've really enjoyed during preseason camp, and so it feels more like your kids.
Locker room lawyers, no griping, handling crap. So that sounds good. And it's easy to get beat down after you've had bad seasons, after you've gone through coaching changes, things like that. It sounds like everybody on the same accord. And again, throw in all the off the field stuff too that has gone on this offseason. So
yeah, no spring football, no summer conditioning for the large part. So I mean, you can come up with a laundry list of things that could really just get you down and get you kind of bummed out and can make your fuse just that much shorter. So the fact that he talks about how the locker room has really just kind of come together is a very positive thing.
I'm going to bring this clip up again when Bryce is here, cut 10, Shirley, but, this is it's something you just talked about. You got to develop depth. I think Ronnie asked the question about, you've got guys on the scout team now, but are those guys we could potentially see playing key roles later in this season when you need all this depth? And here's how Mike Houston addressed that.
And that's I talk, especially this year. I mean, I think this year everybody better be ready to play because you never know who is going to get pulled on, your Friday COVID test. It's the reality. There are some kids that are on our scout offense or scout defense that will travel and play on special teams. There are guys, we have seen it many years where there's a guy at the beginning of the year on the scout team that ends up starting by the end of the year. And that's the thing you love about college football. And that's the thing, that I try to preach to our kids is, you're going to earn your time based on your performance. Once we get out there, I don't care who they are, what their last name is, what class they are, scholarship walk-on, doesn't matter. I don't care. The best players are going to be the ones that takes the snaps on game days.
All right, everybody's got a shot. There is a pecking order. There is a depth chart. But if you compete, if you're out there, if you're consistent every day, you're going to have a chance to get on the field for ECU in 2020, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Glenn Griffin brought up that, Blake Harrell's on the Brian Bailey Show talking about all the D linemen. They're going to rotate in and out of games this year. And Glenn asked Mike Houston to expand upon that. And he talked about all the players that they're going to run in and out of games on the defensive side of the ball. Cut 9, Shirley.
We're going to play a lot of kids on defense. And we're going to play a lot of kids on offense too. It's one of those things where it was what it was when I got here last year from a standpoint of the depth on the roster, especially on the defensive side, and it's due to priorities in recruiting. We recruited heavily on the defensive side of the ball and specific offensive positions the last recruiting cycle, and we did it to enable us to do that. If we can keep fresh bodies on the field, that allows us to play, at a higher level throughout 4 quarters.
All right, Mike Houston talking about getting a lot of folks in the game, in the frickin' game coming up, Shirley.
We'll have any frickin' game.
Next Saturday against UCF. Craig on Facebook Live says, is the NC mandate 50 people for an outdoor event, meaning I could have 50 people in my backyard? Surely, if that's the case, the 50-person limit for a stadium is ridiculous. Well, Craig, I haven't heard really anybody say that the 50-person limit in a stadium is not ridiculous. I think everybody kind of think, I think common sense would say you could have more people than 50 in a 50,000 person stadium, a seat stadium, but that's, look, you can talk about it ad nauseum. It doesn't make a lot of common sense, but that's what it is right now. I don't know what else to say.
Well, I mean, the schools did attempt to have some sort of an exception.
Yeah,
they asked, and they were turned down. So, I mean, of course, looking at it from a standpoint of maybe, across the state, you might not want to have more than 50 people in your backyard just for, because it makes it sometimes difficult for social distancing. But
case
now,
by case basis,
but you got to look at it from a standpoint of if your capacity is 50,000, then 50 people is is chump change,
minuscule.
That's tossing a penny into a bucket. So
but that's what the guidelines are at this moment, and that's what they'll be coming up next Saturday for the freaking game. We're having a freaking game. Even so, it would be awesome to have a packed house, but I still think it's excitement time.
Excitement time.
All right, let's take a time out, Shirley. When we return, we will talk about
I'm going to wear that button out.
that freaking game coming up between ECU and UCF.
We're having a freaking game.
We will talk about what's going on this weekend in the AAC, the ACC, around the country, little NFL as well with Emory Hunt, football game plan. He joins us on the Fixed NC Live line when we return after this.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Cadillac. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, get an all-new 2020 Cadillac Escalade and save over $13,000 off. As always, Brown & Wood is the home of the lifetime warranty.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
Weekdays are a great time to visit North Carolina state parks. The best time to learn about nature is to be able to look, listen, and feel its natural beauty. A visit to the North Carolina state parks is perfect for homeschoolers, scout groups, and teachers looking for a fun field trip during the week. You'll be amazed at all the natural wildlife you'll see when you experience the beauty of each North Carolina state park. Visit ncparks.gov to get all the information on the closest park near you.
Hey guys, listen up. The next 30 seconds is very important because we have an announcement. Shimmer Boutique is your one-stop shop to make you look good and thoughtful. This is Ashley at Shimmer Boutique. We specialize in men's and women's apparel and also carry the biggest selection of local hats and jewelry. From Yetis to Hey Dudes, this is the place for you. Did I mention we also have free gift wrapping? Come check us out at our new location on Greenville Boulevard behind Starbucks. Shimmer is your one-stop shop for the whole family, and we will always make your shopping experience easy and fun.
In studio today with Dr. Shondell Jones from Kinetic Physical Therapy. How can you help people with back pain?
Well, you know, most people are going to have back pain at some point during their life, but you don't have to live with it. A bad MRI or a bad x-ray does not mean you're destined to always have pain. We have specialists that are well trained to find out what the true problem is and the true source of your pain so they can get you on track to feeling better. So don't suffer with back pain. Our nationally board certified specialists are here to help you. To learn more, visit us at kptonline.com. We can help you live well, move more, and hurt less.
The Frowls family lives on a lush piece of land called greener pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frowls family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Get quality at every turn with Quality Equipment, your local John Deere dealer, with 27 locations in North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. Find out more at qualityequip.com.
At US Cellular, we speak fair. When we say you don't have to pay activation fees, we mean it. Plus, right now when you switch, you also get $700 toward the latest phones. Yep, we mean that too. Upgrade to fair with US Cellular. Promotional pricing requires an unlimited everyday or even better plan. New line port and credit approval. Qualified smartphone purchase and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month RIC. Taxes, fees, and additional restrictions apply.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit AtlanticWireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Ottavola Market Cafe. Ottavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Ottavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Ottavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Ottavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Ottavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OttavolaMarket.com. Ottavola, Pirates supporting Pirates.
This is Mike Houston, head football coach at East Carolina University, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Hey, Villa Verde on 10th Street and Villa Verde Dos by the hospital are open for you, serving unique and healthy dishes from the Dominican Republic. Order online at myvillaverde.com or the Villa Verde app. Order a family meal that feeds 6 to 7 people, and they'll have it ready for curbside pickup today. Whether it's dine-in or take-out, Villa Verde is a platform for good. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here is your host, Clip Brock.
Back with you on Pirate Radio Live on a Wednesday. Coming up, we got our buddy Wager McGhee in the house. We'll run over the entire slate of college football, NFL coming up Thursday and on into the weekend. Also, former ECU tight end Bryce Williams going to join us inside the Pirate Radio studios in the 5 o'clock hour, and the voice, Jeff Charles. He's in Big Ten country. We'll get the latest on the Big Ten, talk some Pirate football with the voice, and more from Mike Houston coming up in hour number 3. It's excitement time, Shirley. I don't know if you've heard.
Excitement time!
That's right. Mike Houston ready to roll coming up for the frickin' game.
We're having a frickin' game.
The frickin' game next Saturday against UCF inside Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. Let's talk football, ECU, and otherwise now as we head out to the Fixed NC Live line. Emory Hunt, football game plan. CBS Sports HQ, Sportsline. Emory, every time I bring you on, I say your credentials are too long to list them all. So give us the bullet points, Emory. What do you want to plug as we start this interview?
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. It's football game plan, and we could all just go from there. So they can just follow me on Twitter at FBall Game Plan, and, they'll see all the content, all of the shows that I'm on, all the things that I do. And I'm just glad to be here.
Emory, we have CBS Sports HQ on every day here in the Pirate Radio studios. I saw you last week in that, what was that, a salmon color, pink? What color was that jacket you were wearing?
I was out there 3 days.
What's that? Last week when I saw you out there working live in a sports book. Things could be worse for Emory Hunt, but wanted to get you on today to talk all things football, Emory. And let's start here locally with East Carolina. Mike Houston rolling in to year 2. He's got his veteran quarterback with Holton Ahlers. He's got his veteran receiving core, a young but very experienced receiving core led by C.J. Johnson, Blake Prohl, and Tyler Snead, of course. Defense is a question mark. They bring in Blake Harrell. Emory, where do you think the Pirates sit right now as far as the American goes in year 2 of Mike Houston?
Well, you want to see a little bit more. It's not a knock on the team. You just want to see them be a little bit more competitive in this season. You saw last year was, there were spots where they were, okay, this team is taking a step in the right direction. There were other spots where you just like, I don't know if they got it yet. And you just want to see where they are growth-wise. And unfortunately, without a spring, without, a regular summer camp, fall camp, we just don't know. So I can't even answer that question honestly without having seen them at all until we see them in a game.
And that's a problem too when you try to handicap these games, right, Emory? Are you basing it off of what you know as far as experience, returners? When you pick a game on the weekend, is that kind of, because I know we're going to talk about North Carolina in a moment. I just saw earlier this week you were taking the Tar Heels this weekend. Are you basing everything that you play this year off last year and off kind of what you know?
A little bit, yeah, because you have to look at which players opted out or. You saw the inactive list for that Georgia Southern Campbell game. It was like half the roster. So it's tough. And, normally I'm doing about, let's say for HQ purposes, Sportsline purposes, I'm doing maybe 15 college games a week. I've done maybe 3 written picks this week, this year. And most of my picks have been on air, because they asked, hey, we're going to talk about this game. Because otherwise, I probably wouldn't have picked the college game because you don't know. You kind of, I knew North Carolina returned a lot. I knew they'd been practicing throughout this whole thing. So I felt comfortable talking about North Carolina. I felt comfortable talking about Notre Dame. But right now, that's why you don't see a lot of college picks from me this season because you just really don't know. And prime example, you look at a game, let's say like the Raging Cajuns in Iowa State. You go into that game expecting everything to be just as planned, but then they announced, I want to say the day before, their star tight end won't play. And, they don't give you a reason why, but you just assume it's because of COVID-19. So, it's interesting to see how this year plays out, and I've always been a little bit hesitant, but I did know, judging by last week and what we saw last week, the home favorites tend to check out. The home team tends to win probably because that's one more day of protocol or less of protocol than a team that has to get on the bus or get on the plane and travel.
A different year for everybody, and a lot of question marks heading into all these games. Let's stick with the American real quick, Emory, and talk about the three teams that are in the top 25. When you look at Cincinnati, UCF, and Memphis, who's the lead dog in the AAC, in your opinion, in 2020?
I would say right now, as of September 16th, because of what Memphis just announced with all those COVID cases,
right?
It has to be Cincinnati. I like their quarterback, man. Ritter's a really good quarterback, and you think defensively they'll be just fine. But UCF is just so explosive, and they're dynamic on both sides of the ball, and that's a team that tends to always want to show why they belong, and that's a dangerous type team to face each and every Saturday.
Emory, it was pretty shocking to watch Navy a couple of Mondays ago against BYU and just see them get blown off the ball and blown out in their home stadium. Ken Niumatalolo came out after that and said, look, we're going to have to start hitting. We're going to have to get physical at practice. They take on Tulane this week. We'll see if we see a different Navy team, although, as I think Stephen Igo pointed out yesterday on the show, unless Malcolm Perry is eligible again and comes back to that midshipman team, they might have issues offensively all year. What did you think about that first performance by Navy, and do you think we'll see a different team the remainder of the year and later in the season when ECU takes them on?
You hope so. I mean, watching that game against BYU, I just was like, wow, I've never seen a Navy team look like this. And when it came out that they hadn't had contact, it makes sense. And, we know their offense is option-based, and, that requires a lot of repetition. And you can tell they weren't getting the actual repetition that's needed to hit the ground running against a team like BYU. So you hope now that they got that first game out of the way, they can continue to start hitting and having contact, that it'll be just fine. But again, I just don't know I can't project that far out, on what's going to happen because of what we've seen so far. I mean, heck, BYU had to postpone their game against Army, and the only thing I could draw from that was, wow, they were just in Maryland. So what happened in Annapolis between Annapolis and Provo for them to not be able to make that game out there at Army?
Yeah, that's a good point. And, East Carolina going to get underway on the 26th. That's with the SEC. So right now it's kind of Big 12, I guess I should say Sun Belt, taking center stage. But ACC, a lot of ACC action this weekend. Let's look there, Emory. And you've got an in-state matchup between Wake Forest and NC State. I guess the headliner on paper would be Miami-Louisville, although Georgia Tech, coming off their win over Florida State, that's an interesting matchup with UCF. We'll have that one circled. When you look at the slate of games in the ACC this weekend, and I know you think North Carolina takes care of business against Charlotte, anything stand out to you from the Atlantic Coast Conference this week?
I like that Miami-Louisville game because I like both quarterbacks. I think no one is talking enough about Mikael Cunningham and what he brings to the table from a passing standpoint. He has a chance to make a significant jump, not just in the eyes of the college football scope, but also from a draft perspective. You want to see him add a little bit more weight, sticking out his frame, but that's the easy thing to do. But I was impressed with how he finished last season and what he did last week against Western Kentucky, that a lot of people thought, that's a potential trap game for, Louisville. But, I mean, he was outstanding that week, and I'm excited to see how he and De'Ara King hit the ground running. Maybe this could be this year's version of the Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson game we saw a couple years ago with Clemson and Louisville. So I'm excited about that one in the ACC.
That would be fantastic to watch because that was a great ball game. How about Clemson? Is it Sam Howell in North Carolina? Is anybody challenging Clemson this year? Is it Notre Dame who, hey, welcome to the ACC? Is that the team that could challenge Clemson this year?
It could be both because I think North Carolina got their wake-up call against Syracuse last week, but we know their offense has the potential to really match with Clemson. We saw them give Clemson a problem last year, and Notre Dame has the offensive line to really, play that power game against the Tigers. So I think both teams give them a shot. If I had to trust an offense to get the job done, it would probably be North Carolina because of Sam Howell and that passing game, and their defense is a little bit more athletic than what Notre Dame will bring to the table. But both will be the only two, I believe. Maybe Louisville, if they can catch them at the right time, or stranger things have happened in college football. But I would lay my money on North Carolina and Notre Dame being the two that could probably pull off an upset.
We're talking to Emory Hunt, football game plan at F-Ball Game Plan on Twitter. You can see him on CBS Sports HQ. You can see his picks and write-ups on Sportsline, although you might see more later in the year as Emory is trying to get a handle on everything going on outside of football with COVID and everything. And Emory, do you have an off-the-radar guy for us to watch this year? We know the common names when it comes to the Heisman race, and you mentioned the quarterback of Louisville. Who are some other guys you're excited to watch this 2020 season that's maybe a little off the radar?
Well, I like Quincy Roche, the defensive end for Miami. I just think it's funny because we were at the Temple, South Florida game, I want to say maybe 3 years ago, and everyone's NFL scouts was there, and everyone was looking at they were looking at Temple's offensive line. They were looking at South Florida had a defensive end in a corner, and Quentin Quentin Flowers was playing too. So everyone was looking at them, but this freshman defensive end just kept jumping off the screen, and he was making play after play, sack after sack, and it was Quincy Roche. And so he went on to have a very good career at Temple to the point where he was already a household name. So I didn't understand why he had to transfer to Miami. He was already, a strong prospect in the eyes of evaluators. Plus, you're playing at a program that evaluators, they show a lot of respect to because they know the Temple tough, the Temple defensive player that comes out that program. So I didn't understand why he transferred to Miami. I get it, but he's down there. He's going to have an opportunity. Now, the plan was for him to play opposite of Gregory Rousseau, but Rousseau decided to opt out. But now it's time for Quincy Roche to be the stud out there again in Miami. So I'm excited to see how he does because I know maybe deep down he wanted to be at a Power 5 school, and he has the opportunity this year.
Another reason to check out that game, 7:30 ABC coming up between the Canes and Louisville. That should be a fun one on Saturday night. Emory, while I got you here, I want to ask you a few things on the NFL. I remember having you on last year before the season. You tried to talk me off the ledge as a Washington fan that, that you said Terry McLaurin is an absolute monster. You were dead on about that. Now, the Washington obviously didn't have a good season. They were able to draft Chase Young, and my goodness, the defense looked awesome against the Eagles. 8 sacks on Sunday. Can Haskins and the offense do enough, Emory, to actually, put the Washington team in a position where they could win 9 or 10 games this year? Because that defense is going to travel every week. Do they have enough on offense to be a competent football team in 2020?
They have enough on offense to be competitive. I don't know if they have enough in the backfield. That'll depend on what they get out of Bryce Love, because I'm not as high on Antonio Gibson as everyone is. You just don't carry the football 33 times to make you're going to go from that to being Marshall Faulk. So when you look at a Bryce Love, him getting back to full strength to where he's able to handle those down-to-down carries, that's the guy I would keep an eye on. And you have Antonio Gandy Golden that's going to slowly mature, grow, and develop into a premier option because they still need help out there on the receiving aspect of it. The offensive line you saw against Philly, they had their issues against that defensive front, and that's a question. And the run game is not explosive. So right now they don't have enough to where they can challenge for the division, but they have enough to where they can be competitive. And if those guys around Haskins start to grow with him, we already saw that from McLaurin and Sims, and Logan Thomas has proved to be a very good option. Then, yes, by the end of the season, this offense will be playing its best ball, which is what you want to see from a young football team.
Washington's going to have a heck of a time trying to corral Kyler Murray coming up this Sunday. He and the Cardinals look good. Of course, DeAndre Hopkins in his debut with the Cardinals was amazing. How about these two 0-1 versus 0-1 matchups, Emory? You don't want to start 0-2, but a couple of these teams that had some expectations. The Falcons maybe not as high as expectations as the Cowboys had, but they play coming up 1 o'clock on Fox on Sunday. And then you've got a matchup between the Vikings and the Colts, a couple of 0-1 teams. The Colts going down to Jacksonville and losing that game to Gardner Minshew and the Jags. So how about those two matchups? Like I said, a couple of those teams are going to start 0-2 and be way behind the 8 ball, Emory.
Yeah, and it's funny because you look at the Vikings-Colts game this week, both teams got embarrassed in week 1. And it's funny because people looked at Colts, we're a quarterback away, and they gave up on Jacoby Brissett, only to replace him with Phillip Rivers, who was coming off his worst season, and only to play in a game to where he made that game look like how the last season looked for the Chargers every game. It came down to him with the ball with 4 minutes left, and him throwing an interception. So I think they have the pieces to be successful. They can run the football. They got the great offensive line, Jonathan Taylor, all those weapons. Defensively, they got better in the off season, adding DeForest Buckner. I think that's the team that can get right. I think the Vikings are staring 0-2 in the face. Kirk Cousins he must interview really well for the team to really continue to believe in him, despite his output being what it has been his entire career. Because my goodness, he cost them the game last week against Green Bay, and everyone would look at the stat line, but yeah, those are garbage stats when the game was already a blowout, and I think they'll get beat this week by Indianapolis.
Emory, the game of the week, probably Sunday night. Patriots, Seahawks. Cam with a strong debut, running the ball in a couple of times for touchdowns there for the Patriots, and Russell Wilson just kind of does what he does, 4 touchdown passes against the Falcons last week. Everybody's going to see what, Cam does each week, what Tom Brady does this week, expecting a pretty big bounce back from the Bucs as they take on the Panthers, who are, can put up some points offensively, can give up a lot of points defensively. What do you think? Are you following that, Emory? Are you already tired of the Brady, Belichick, Cam, New England, all that stuff? Or is that something you're following week to week?
No, I'm always tired of narratives and storylines.
Right.
I just really wait for the game to start. The game's supposed to start at 1. I don't turn on my TV till about 1:15. I don't care if I miss the first couple plays. I just want to watch football. I just want to tune in and watch football. I don't care about the post pregame interview with Brady or with the coaches and asking them who's going to win and how serious is this game. Is this a must-win game? I don't care about. I just want to see the football, and so I think the Bucs defense is the story here, more so than the Panthers defense. And, I think Cam Newton in Seattle, that's an evenly matched game. That's one I'm excited to see because I think that's going to be, back and forth affair. And the Bucs and Panthers should be fun because I think the Panthers offense is what people were surprised. I wasn't surprised. I thought they'll come in and hit the ground running. I wasn't surprised as well about their defense giving up so many points and yards because they're so young on there. I think they were starting 4 rookies. So, I just like the matchups and exciting play, and I just hate the fact that the storylines, and they beat that storyline to death all season.
Yes, sir. And Emory, final one, we'll let you go. Anything can happen in the NFL. That's why we love it. There's a lot of turnover every year. It is designed to help the bad teams in the draft, of course. But it appears, are we headed for a Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes showdown in the playoffs? Can Lamar finally get it done in the playoffs? I say finally. He's 0-2 in the playoffs in his young career. But is that what we're headed towards this year, Emory? Chiefs, Ravens, or do you see another team popping up there in the AFC?
They look like the 2 most complete teams in the AFC right now, and they're firing on all cylinders, albeit just week 1. But, man, there are some surprise teams you could look at, maybe a team out west, jump the Raiders if their defense can tighten up. They have some weapons. But I just see it being clear, the clear-cut, 2 teams in the AFC is going to come down to the Ravens and Chiefs once again, in my opinion.
Emory, love talking football with you, man. We appreciate you joining us here on Pirate Radio Live. We'll check you out on Twitter at FBall Game Plan. Keep up the good work on CBS Sports HQ and also Sportsline. And we'll track you down again, hopefully, Emory, later in the season. Talk more football with you, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, as always, having me on.
Yes, sir. Always enjoy throwing out a lot of different questions to Emory Hunt here on Pirate Radios. We've had him on the last few years, and he knows it all when it comes to football. Didn't even really get to FCS. He does a lot of games. He's an analyst on a lot of FCS games, but does think the Pirates have an opportunity here to bounce back and be a better team in 2020. It is excitement time. Shirley Rhodes is
excitement time.
Thank you, Mike Houston. As we head into our last break here in hour number 1, got Wager McGhee on deck. Last week, we literally Talked about every game, college and pro. I'll have to see how many games we have this weekend.
You are having a freaking game.
Sorry. How many freaking games?
You are having a freaking game.
How many freaking games we got this weekend? It's a pretty good slate. I don't know if we're going to be able. We might be able to, if Wager is not as long-winded as he always is, to talk about every freaking game.
You are having a freaking game.
Coming up in college football and the NFL. We'll wrap up hour number 1. Welcome on Wager McGhee in hour number 2. Back with you on Pirate Radio Live after this.
Oktoberfest is coming to Winterville this Saturday, September 19th. Naughty Dog Brewing Company and Local Oak Brewing Company are teaming up for a fun day of cold beer, food trucks, costume contests, Oktoberfest games like Hammerschlagen, a mug relay, and more. The fun starts at noon and goes until 11 p.m. with plenty of room indoors and outdoors for everyone. Both Naughty Dog and Local Oak will be releasing 2 new beers each that day. Oktoberfest this Saturday, noon to 11 p.m. at Naughty Dog and Local Oak, Winterville.
Buying a vehicle should be a fun experience and not one where you're bounced around from person to person. This is Mary from the Auto Store Group, and we offer an honest, no-pressure, hometown store approach to selling vehicles. The Auto Store Group has 3 locations and over 150 quality used vehicles to choose from. Shop our entire inventory at theautostoregroup.com. And remember, every purchase comes with a free bucket of fun. The Auto Store Group, Pirate-owned and operated for over 38 years. Start shopping today for your next vehicle at theautostoregroup.com.
Do you think you might have been exposed to COVID-19? Maybe you're planning to visit parents, family, or friends. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville offers easy solutions to COVID-19 testing. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
Love Jersey Mike's subs? Love them times 12 with our new catering box. Packed full of a dozen individually wrapped subs. They're yours for the sharing. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. Tired of cooking at home? Change it up without getting up. Just order Jersey Mike's through our app for no contact delivery or no contact at the door pickup. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Let's turn a trip to the branch into a tap on your phone. Let's hit pause on a lost debit card without hitting pause on life. That's how First National Bank is redefining convenience with a top-rated mobile app that puts more security and control at your fingertips and friendly people to help you succeed right by your side. Let's get started at fnb-online.com or your local First National Bank. FNB member FDIC.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. For starters, they love a nice, cold Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's delicious, it's refreshing, and it has zero sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. Because who decided beef shouldn't have a buddy? And a drink with their feast? Yeah, they have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. No compromises there. Oh, and when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. They're the kind of person jorts were made for. 50% jeans, 50% shorts, 100% the most comfortable thing that's ever graced your wardrobe. Not compromising never looked so good. So crack open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and taste what it's like to have it all. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar done right. That's what I like.
Hey, this is Chef Dave Finelli. Have you got $60 extra a week or you just got $60 a week? I can feed you dinner 6 nights a week for total $60. Maybe you haven't heard about this, my Heart Healthy Home Meals. I give you 6 meals a week, you pick them up at Pops, it's $60 a week. I guarantee you go out to eat one time, you spend more than $60. I guarantee you if you go to the grocery store one time, you spend more than $60. And then you still got to tip, and then you still got to cook and prep and worry. Forget all that. I got you. $60 a week. Let me know. I'm right there at Pops. You know how to reach me.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, W224EI Greenville, WDLX Washington, and W281CH Washington. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Got damage? Damage from wood rot? Fixed. Damage from smoke or fire? Fixed. Damage caused by water? Fixed. If you've got damage, use a contractor that works for you and not your insurance company. Visit fixednc.com today or call 999-0001. That's 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Fixed NC. Restore, renew, and maintain. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here is your host, Clip Brock.
All right, back with you, wrapping up hour number 1. Wager McGhee is in the Wager McGhee chair, although you're not officially on yet. We don't have you on until hour 2.
Oh, is it?
You're here, but you're not here.
Yeah, it's 3:57. So yeah.
Well,
Excitement time!
It is excitement time because we have a ton of games to talk about with Wager McGhee coming up. In fact, we should probably go ahead and throw out a pick. Sure. But we got to go to break, and I know if I throw out one game, it's going to take 7 minutes.
Let's just throw out the...
Are you doing Browns Bengals? We're doing this chronologically. Let's get Browns Bengals out of the way, and we'll take a timeout.
I love the Bengals.
You love the Bengals on, what is it, plus what, 5.5, 6?
6.
Plus 6.
I mean, it's a short week for a rookie quarterback, but...
Shirley, go and hit the music because we got to play them off.
Oh, wait. I was going to say, we don't have to take a break, actually.
Why not?
Because we've already taken our breaks for the first hour.
Really?
Yeah. You were actually on time this time.
Wait, so we're good.
We're good.
Okay.
You want to start over then?
No, this is good. All right, so
excitement time.
Excitement
We're having
time.
Freaking games.
We're having freaking talk about games.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Good. Fine. All right. Let's go with it then. You like the Bengals coming up? We will have that game for you right here on Pirate Radio because the Battle of Ohio deserves to be on Pirate Radio coming up Thursday night. Bengals and Browns. Wow. I was just going to dive into it. We should recap that Wager was 2-1 with his Pirate Radio picks on Monday night. How'd you do?
And
what?
Well, no, I
keep taking stupid overs. It's your fault.
Goal line stand, 3 missed field goals and extra point. There's 10 right there. That puts it over, I think. And then the 1st and goal and the 2.
That was a great call when they did the shovel pass on 4th and goal with the 1 too.
I didn't watch it.
So. you would have been even more angry if you watched it.
I mean, hey, we got the under lock of the week with the Steelers, which I had to sweat out a little bit more than what I thought. And you probably got lucky on the. Either way, I was going to go 1-1 on that because I had the Broncos +3, and if the guy makes all the field goals, it'd probably get the over, but I don't get the 3.
You can't complain about missing an over in Game 2 when you've got Eli Jones throwing interceptions in the end zone in Game 1, helping your under.
Yeah, it was like almost a Army drive too, wasn't it?
Exactly. It was literally 19-play drive.
Yeah,
ended with an Eli Jones interception there near the end zone. All right, so Thursday night. You like the Bengals?
I do. I like what I saw with. I mean, the interception in the end zone was questionable. The drive before that, it was shovel pass that got intercepted by Ingram.
Melvin Ingram.
I mean, but those were the last 2 drives of the day for him to take control. I think they've talked about that the entire camp, how poised and how veteran Burrow seems to be. And I think you saw it on those last 2 drives. And I don't know. I mean, it's a ticky-tack call on the offensive pass interference. I think
you know what we need? We need to be able to review pass interferences. When are they going to bring that to the league? I was joking with Cowboys fan Brian Bailey. That was definitely the biggest and most egregious offensive pass interference, the A.J. Green one, not the Michael Gallup one. Although the Michael Gallup one.
Green wasn't bad. They showed one with Mike Williams in the first half of that same game where he pushed off and got separation. I think Chargers ended up going down and kicking a field goal, and they won by 3 in that game.
Is there an added emphasis on that this year or something? It came up in big moments.
It seems like it is. It seems NFL is offensive pass interference. College is the blindside block that they've decided to start calling that happens on every touchdown play and gets called back. So
that's why you got to stick to unders, man.
Yeah. Well, it's a short week for everybody. I think Burrow it seemed to me Burrow and the receivers and everything were pretty well in this, kind of Josh Allen, Cam Newton run offense they're doing with him. That I think is pretty quickly correlates to a Denver or a Browns defense that was missing 4 or 5 starters. So I like them on a short week. I have concerns that the Browns' new coaching staff, new head coach, offense coordinator, defense coordinator, they're too busy coming in and reviewing a 38-6 loss on Monday morning. It's like, what should we do? Let's cut the kicker. That was so.
Does Gostkowski still have his job?
I don't
the
know.
Browns cut theirs. The Browns brought in Double Doink, Cody Parkey, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
there was a lot of them. Falcons probably need to cut theirs. I mean, there's a lot of the kickers clearly need a preseason more than quarterbacks.
Wow,
do, I think it's
interesting take.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's move on from this game.
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield stinks. All right, so you like the Bengals there. All right, we're going chronologically, remember. So Friday night, standalone game, and I'm excited about it. Campbell and Coastal Carolina, because your Chanticleers talk about an easy Saturday night laying back when you got a team plus 6.5, 7, and they just crush the Jayhawks. No doubter. Easy money.
I mean, they went to bed at halftime feeling pretty good. They got a little bit tighter, I guess, towards the end. But, yeah, I mean, that's 2 years in a row. They just own Kansas. They own that team.
And I don't have a line on this one. I don't know if you do.
I not because it's FBS. I think those are waiting a little bit. So, but remember, I think, again, why we liked them so much last week is they had so many practices. You know, they got all their spring practices.
Spring ball, you love that.
Yeah, I love spring ball. Now Campbell looked okay against Georgia Southern last week.
Good game.
33 players were COVID or suspended or whatever.
How many players do they have on the roster? That's a lot. That's a nice chunk of players.
55 at least.
They were going two ways, like those small high schools that guys have to play defensive end and tackle.
Yeah,
they were doing that. Georgia
they came back and won. I don't know what to think about, and it's a tough week for Coastal. I'm sure we'll talk about ULL at some point, one of your favorite teams. That's probably a tough week to come back for Coastal to focus on that, but I think they'll get a win. I don't know it's going to be a huge number.
It's going to be a very big number, I would think, after what they did against Kansas, which that was wagers. Hopefully you tailed them there. I did, and came out a winner last Saturday. All right, I'm going to just stop me if you like something. These are the nooners, and there's way too many noon games. Let's put some of these later in the day next time. Let's make sure. Okay. So, Tulsa, Oklahoma State. The game will be played. It was pushed back a week. This one is in Stillwater, Oklahoma State, a big favorite, and a total in the 60s with 66.5. That is noon on ESPN.
I love Tulsa in that game. I'm going to take it. I may sprinkle a little bit. I'm
crazy.
Not sure.
What are you just doing that against all Big 12 teams this year?
Not a bad thing to do. But I mean, think about what Tulsa did towards the end of the year, right? It's the first time that Montgomery's had a returning quarterback. That quarterback's good.
They beat ECU.
They beat UCF, right? They beat somebody else, SMU or somebody. They won some games late. I'm still not sure Chuba and the team and how they feel about their head coach. And then you saw last week the Oklahoma State asked their coaches to take a pay cut, and the football coaches were like,
"Oh yeah, the assistants.
Nah, we're okay. Yeah. We're not gonna. We're gonna take all of our money." I think that feels like a coaching staff that's on the way out with all that One News Network stuff that happened this summer.
and maybe the tumultuous offseason is something to look at for these games, because we had that thought with Mike Norvell and Florida State, right?
Yeah.
They had a deal going on this offseason, and we saw that was another one of your picks, Georgia Tech there. So you're going with the tumultuous offseason storyline as a reason to pick Tulsa.
Well, why not? It's 2020. But they did play last year, early in the year, and I had Oklahoma State in that game. And I remember Chuba had 2 late touchdown runs to barely eke by. I think they won by 20. I don't understand why the number is higher with the way Tulsa finished and the quarterback coming back. I love the 22.5, and it's not bad. It's not a bad time to see what happened to Big 12 last week to maybe fade a little bit with a sprinkle. It should be some points, but we'll see.
All right, let's go P. They are so bad that they had to take the third and fourth quarters down to 10 minutes last week against Pitt. I do not see a total against Cincinnati, but this is going to be definitely in the 40s, because I think it was 42 to West Virginia last week. It might be 45, 47. I don't know in this game.
They're gonna get rolled in this. I think back-to-back physical games for Austin Peay. Pitt is who they played that just rolled them in that game. since he's a pretty veteran team coming back, but I don't. It's going to be a huge number, like you were saying, 42 or something.
All right, ESPN 2 at noon, Louisiana at the Panthers of Georgia State, a game we need to keep an eye on because the Pirates and Georgia State will play in a few weeks. Louisiana, the Ragin' Cajuns getting their first win over a ranked team since 1996. When who was the quarterback? Wager McGhee.
Jake Delhomme.
Jake Delhomme. A bonus trivia question. His main target that year and in that game when they beat Texas A&M in 1996 was this wide receiver who won 2 Super Bowls and is most notably known for his time in Baltimore, Indianapolis, and Denver. This was the one. I knew the Jake Delhomme one. I had no clue about this one.
Don't know.
Ragin' Cajuns great Brandon Stokely.
Brandon Stokely?
Went to Louisiana. All right, Louisiana, Georgia State. Louisiana, big favorites, 17 against the Panthers and a 58.5 total in this game. You're going to take Georgia State.
Yeah, without doubt.
I can see it on your face.
I'm taking State. I mean, it's again, think about all the other stuff that we've tried to factor in this year, but the one consistent with college football is the letdown spot.
Yeah.
They're off of arguably the biggest win in their history. They're ranked. They're a ranked team, but you forget they're playing back-to-back road. And also, Iowa State, they only had 14 first downs and 270 yards in that game. They had a 95-yard kickoff return, 83-yard punt return, 78-yard pass. That means they can't have their offense out there, so I get it. But this is a conference game. These two teams know each other. They play every year, so State is used to that little run game that they have. It's 36-22 last year. ULL won. I get it. But they're just used to that. State's got 16 starters coming back, 8 on offense, 8 on defense. They made a bowl game, as I try to keep reminding people about Georgia State since we have the connection there.
We know.
And last year in week 1, what did State do? They went to Tennessee as a 26-point dog and won straight up. So this isn't an unfamiliar spot.
Numbers too big.
Numbers too big. I was shocked. I thought it would be. I mean, they won by 14 last year. Don't get me wrong, ULL is the much better team, and they've got offensive linemen and running backs that are NFL quality, and State doesn't. But I like the 17. I'm going to take the 17.
All right, noon on the ACC network, Syracuse at Pitt. Pitt is in the top 25. My gut call last week when I first looked at the lines was Syracuse plus 21.5, 22. And boy, did I feel good about that for 3 quarters. And then North Carolina poured it on at the end of that game. Similar number here, Pitt by 21.5 against Dino. Can Dino's offense do anything? Good grief.
They looked bad last week, and then it took North Carolina a while to get going. But the fact they couldn't do anything against Carolina, Phil Steele, our friend, has Pittsburgh's defensive line as the second best defensive line in football. They're kind of D-line I guess, maybe. They started with Aaron Donald, maybe. I think they roll, and they looked really good on offense last week. How they know. You would think the second game that Syracuse would be a little bit better. So the number's probably
better than Austin Peay.
Yeah, the number's probably a little high for a conference game. I may stay away. I'm going to look to back Pitt in some spots, laying more than 3 touchdowns in conference here against a team that just got embarrassed. Probably not one of those, I think.
Smelling under. Smells like an under. Fox, nooner, Houston, Baylor. If I'm not mistaken, this game was put together in 6 days. It was last Saturday we were watching college football. They announced that these two teams would play. I love it, by the way. This one's in Waco. Baylor by 4.
It's moved. I saw 6.5 when I was starting notes yesterday.
Okay.
So gone down.
What is Baylor? So first-year head coach, obviously.
New head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Only have 2 returning starters on defense. 7 guys back on offense, starting with quarterback. But again, it's new systems, new language, all that. Houston, if it sounds familiar, 19 starters back, 10 on offense, 9 defense.
I had to be reminded that Dana was their head coach. I forgot about that.
Dana, yeah. I mean, they're the same type team coming back as Georgia Tech, right? They were 4-8 last year. Houston was second year. Dana Holger consistent, however you say that. They went 4-1 as a road dog last year against the spread, and the one loss was that Tulane miracle touchdown pass on the last play of the game that went by 7, and they were like a 4-point dog.
Oh yeah.
No, we all remember.
Yeah,
I got a bad win or a good win on that. I was on Tulane on that side. So, but there's more consistency on the Houston side, even without a spring practice or a bowl practice, I guess. And it's going to be a carryover for the Big 12 teams, I think. So Big 12 looked so bad. I think that's why Big 10 decided to opt back into the season, because they thought they could get Ohio State and Penn State in the playoffs. I like Houston. I thought I was getting 6.5. I'm getting 4. I still like it. Last year they had all that stuff with Derek King kind of quitting mid-season too. The quarterback, whatever his name is, Colton or Carton or whatever is the Houston quarterback. Second year of the system. Yeah, 19 starters back. I'll take the Cougs.
Going with the Cougs. Let's see. Got a few more nooners, and we'll take a timeout. Let's head to Houchins Industries L.T. Smith Stadium, of course, home of the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, as they take on Liberty. How's Liberty doing with the COVID?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't. I'll admit that's probably the one game we'll talk about I didn't do any prep work for, because I don't expect that game to happen because of COVID.
14.5 point favorites are the Hilltoppers, which seems like a lot of points. 52 is the total. If we don't talk about it, let's not talk about it, because we got to get a lot of games.
Yeah, let's not talk about it then.
Navy at Tulane. The Midshipmen are 7-point dogs, coming off one of the worst performances in Navy modern history against BYU. They get a week off. They get to hit each other at practice. Ken Niumatalolo chewed them out. Will we see a better performance from the Midshipmen, or do you like the Green Wave?
I like Navy. I mean, for him to say, basically apologize on behalf of everybody associated with Navy, to anybody associated with it, that we embarrassed you, I made a bad mistake. You know that for the last 2 weeks they have hit, and they are going to be the most prepared. I watched Tulane against our little South Alabama team.
They had to come back.
They weren't great.
Yeah.
And they'll be better in the second game too, but Navy's got the most room for improvement. Navy owns the series. They're 4-1 straight up. Tulane won one game by 1 point, 2 years ago. They have trouble with that system. Still a little bit of doubts with the Navy quarterback, because, even hitting, I think, he looked so bad against BYU. But I think later in the year, we're going to look back at these Army and BYU games and kind of realize how good and physical they are. But you get 7+ points with a conference team that owns them, I would take Navy. I think they'll win.
And finally, Wallace Wade Stadium is the locale for Duke and Boston College. Boy, a shame fans can't go to that one. That would have been rocking. Duke is a 5.5 point favorite. Total is 52. Blue Devils hung around with the Irish for a while on Saturday. What about this Saturday?
I really have no idea about Boston College. I was surprised at how well Duke kind of played and held Notre Dame down. I think the quarterback looked good. He'll look better this week. But, man, to jump on Duke now all of a sudden as a 6-point favorite, I'll
stay away.
Wait and see on those two.
All right. Let's take a timeout. We've run through the noon games. We'll go through the afternoon and evening games. Also hit all the NFL action with Wager McGhee on a Wednesday edition of Pirate Radio Live. We are back with you after this.
Hey guys, do you have those yellow overgrown toenails? Is your lady complaining that you have rough feet? If you're embarrassed to wear flip-flops or sandals, then the Man Cave is the spot for you. The Man Cave is Greenville's newest premier destination that provides professional manicures, pedicures, and hair services for men only. We even offer a special membership if you dare to join the Gentlemen's Club. What happens in the Man Cave stays in the Man Cave. So book your appointment today at mancaveandnails.com. Friends that groom together, stay together.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory ever. Brand new Adidas is arriving daily, along with Under Armour, Columbia, and Russell Athletic. UBE is loaded with cargo, and new items are being added daily to PirateWear.com. Be sure to check out our children's store, The Crow's Nest, for all of your young pirates. UBE and PirateWear.com, an ECU tradition for 50 years. Go Pirates!
This is Dr. Phil Perdue with Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. My colleagues and I recognize how difficult this time is for everyone in our community. We continue to see patients during the week while taking precautions to keep everyone safe. Our extended care clinic is now open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. so you can avoid the emergency department for your urgent orthopedic care. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at orthoeast.com.
If you're like many, you may have put on the Corona 5, 10, or even 15 over the last 2 months. Well, the weather is warm and it's time to get that body back on track. At Clean Eats, we have you covered. Our weekly meal plan will quickly help you get back to where you want to be. Order online at cleaneats.com. Our cafe is back open, sanitized, and waiting to serve you healthy lunch and dinner options for dine-in, takeout, curbside, or even delivered through our delivery partners. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
Are you trying to reduce clutter? Want to save a tree? Greenville Utilities can help. E-bill is a simple solution. Imagine getting an email letting you know your bill is ready. And with a few clicks on your computer or smartphone, you can review and pay your bill. It's just that easy. Signing up is simple. All you need to do is to log on to your account at guc.com and update your contact information and e-bill setting. You can even continue to receive a paper bill if you'd like. E-bill from Greenville Utilities. Just one of the ways GUC is here for you.
While you're sleeping, our whole hogs are slow cooking over wood to create that bite that Eastern North Carolina is known for. I'm Sam Jones, and for more than 3 generations, my folks have been the torchbearers for what whole hog barbecue is supposed to be. At Sam Jones, you'll find plenty of smoke, but no mirrors. Everything, and I mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Come on over and see us at Sam Jones Barbecue, and I bet you'll be able to taste our passion in just one bite. Sam Jones Barbecue, Fire Tower Road.
Every team knows that the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I'm here. State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer and my team are here to help you go for 2 by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score some savings by combining your home and auto. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, Timothy Sawyer, at 493-0002 today.
Pirate Radio.
The
voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. PRL this afternoon is brought to you by Bud Light, who reminds Pirate fans to always stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Clip, I do have a couple of scheduling updates for you.
All right, let's get some scheduling updates.
We've got some TV and kickoff time. Central Arkansas is set to take on Missouri State coming up on Saturday. That will be an 8 o'clock kickoff on ESPN3.
This Saturday?
This Saturday.
Good. We need more night games. That's huge.
Yeah, well, as a matter of fact, that
Sugar
is.
Bears are back.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that was an update because remember, Central Arkansas was scheduled to play this weekend against Arkansas State, and that game got moved to October 10th, and that will be a 7 o'clock kick each other, and that'll be a first.
Shirley, good news there. Thanks.
I just figured it was because the Redskins,
I was so confident they were going to win, I got it cut the day before. But really, I had to get rid of it. All right, Wager McGhee will never know what his hairstyle is. But let me tell you, it's crazy, folks. He's got a crazy head of hair up there. Wager, we are running down the slate of games, and we have got to 2:30. Every time I see this, it weirds me out. But according to this, on USA Network, right after Monday Night Raw and
Law and Order SVU,
the marathon.
Yeah.
I used to like Psych a lot on USA.
They better not be interrupting Live and too much. So I gotta get my weekend SVU.
South Florida at Notre Dame. Now, I'm assuming the U.S. Open is on NBC?
That's a good point. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that.
But USA Network, you're going to be flipping around, and it's going to look really weird to see Touchdown Jesus on USA Network. Notre Dame, 26-point favorites against South Florida. Totals at 49. Anything on this one?
did not really break it down, so I don't have a play, but I might lean. It might lean a little bit more towards South Florida in that game, again, just because of how tight Duke kind of played Notre Dame. And I don't expect that South Florida is going to get into an up and down game here. So I like that. I like the coaching staff and that team there, but not broken down. So
3 o'clock, ESPN 3, Stone Cold. Stephen F. Austin is at UTSA in the Alamo Dome. That's pretty cool. The Roadrunners play there. You liked them last week, right?
I did, yeah. I liked them versus Texas State. Yeah. So I haven't broken that one down.
Okay.
So.
ESPN 3, 3:30 in Kenan Stadium, North Carolina, a hefty favorite over Charlotte, 29.5. Total is at 60.
That was a little lower. Charlotte starting quarterback is out. And if you look at the App State numbers, they really just rolled them up. They just made some mistakes, fumble at the one, some turnovers that kept Charlotte in that game.
So their QB's out?
Yeah, Charlotte quarterback is out. So, and he was kind of the key to that thing. His starting quarterbacks was, I mean, backup may be okay, but I think App had over 500 yards of offense in that game. So I would expect the second half Carolina offense that showed up maybe is there from the very beginning, and they can put up 40 or 50 in this game. So
wager was all over Georgia Tech last week. That was an easy winner. I say that that was the worst football game I might have ever watched in my life against Florida State. Georgia Tech is a home dog to UCF. We'll keep a close eye on this one as the Pirates will play a frickin' game coming up next Saturday against UCF.
We're having a frickin' game
against UCF. 7.5 Knights, 61.5 total.
I like the Jackets again.
Under.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, if you look at the numbers, so first, again, 19 starters back for Georgia Tech, and we talked about what had been the reports that the true freshman quarterback was really good, and you can see it, but then you also saw true freshman mistakes. I mean, they outgained Florida State down there. First game for him, and they gained 440 yards, 150 more than Florida State. He was 8 of 16 on third downs. They had 10 penalties and 2 turnovers, but then there was 3 hours of lightning delays in that whole thing, too, after he got warmed up and ready to go. And they still were able to win that game. And this is what, the third different UCF starting game?
Oh, yeah, they're kind of on the ECU train when it comes to that.
ECU, I think they were North Carolina, they were ECU, they were here. I don't know. I don't think that they've had that much to prepare. I don't think they have an advantage over Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech has the advantage. They got a game under their belt. A true freshman is really good, and they got a good veteran team, and that's a well-coached team. UCF was 2-4 last year against the spread as a road favorite. They lost straight up at Cincinnati, at Tulsa. And the Tulsa game was a 34-31 game. That's kind of what I think here with Jeff Sims. I think Tech's, he doesn't make as many mistakes. They're sharp. They score points. I think they keep it under the number. Maybe sprinkle. And maybe take the over.
Do the ATL parlay special with Georgia Tech and Georgia State on Saturday.
Oh, you could almost throw a rock and from Bobby Dodd to
is that true or is that a joke? I don't know.
No,
it's the layout there.
It's on a non-rush hour. I mean, it's only about a mile down 75 South to the other park. So.
Let's go to Jones C. Edwards Stadium, and Marshall is taking on App State. App State is a 4.5-point favorite. It's going to be a good game on CBS. That's right. CBS, home of, again, CSI Miami and Survivor. App State Marshall.
That's the SEC network, so I guess they're making App part of the SEC. Is there an announcement coming?
Wow, that would be huge. That would really piss off Pirate fans.
I think there's value for App. I think this will be a shootout. Again, they had 512 yards. They out 512 to 286 last week. The offense was good, not great. Fumble at the one, some other mistakes, but when they needed to, they got it done. Marshall played one game against Eastern Kentucky, looked great, but have been off for 2 weeks. I think there'll be more improvement from App from one game to the next. So I like it. I think short favorite.
This is my over special wager.
Yeah.
59. I see it. Yeah. It's in the 60s, right?
I think there's one other game that might get it to 100. So, but you can you can have that as your over special.
All right. 3:30 on ESPN. Florida Atlantic at Georgia Southern. The Statesboro Blues.
Nothing, because I don't know if those 33 guys are missing or not.
You're not going to play the 3:30 ESPN game? I can't believe this is the 3:30 ESPN game. Citadel at Clemson on the ACC network. I don't have a line in front of me. Let's just play guess the line.
51.
Yeah.
I think what I saw last week.
Oh, by the way, you were off on that one.
I was. Except for first half, and that's what I was about to say. Except for the Notre Dame game this year, because they don't play Carolina in the regular season, I don't think I'm going to touch a full game for Clemson. I'm only going to play first half. Because
we used to do this a lot with Bama a couple years ago. Yep. I remember.
Start quick and early. Utah State that one year when they were still on the radar. Whatever. DJ and Taysom or whoever the other guy is, the backup, the guys that are fighting for second, were not very good last week. They might be better, but they weren't very good against Wake. And I'll give Wake some credit. They actually kept fighting and looked good in the second half.
4 o'clock on the Deuce, Johnny Red Floyd Stadium. I love these stadium names.
Yeah.
That is in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Middle Tennessee hosting Troy. Troy favored by 3.5, 64.5. As the Sun Belt is the premier football league this year.
Yeah. Not enough to know there. I mean, last time we saw Middle, they looked horrible against Army. I'm guessing there's probably some value there, but I just don't know yet. So
SMU at North Texas. The
100-point game.
Okay, 69 is the total.
Oof.
You got it at a hundo?
So this is the fourth year in a row they've played 49-27, 46-23, 54-32. But that was North Texas, not really with a good quarterback and going a little slower. I don't know if anybody, I may be the only person who watched North Texas and Houston Baptist. It was one of the more entertaining games this year. I kind of like the 14 because SMU made so many mistakes, but I'm also still bitter about them not covering against Texas State because of all those mistakes.
Let's just go over.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you're gonna have to get. They beat Houston Baptist 57-31, and I don't think either team scored in the fourth quarter.
They gave up 31 to Houston Baptist. Yeah, so that makes me feel good about North Texas scoring.
Well, no, that was North Texas score.
Oh,
that was 57-31.
Oh, okay, SMU.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel even better now.
Somebody's going to have to score 55-60 to win that game. That's what I'm saying. I think there's a shot for that to get to 100.
All right.
As long as the weather's good in Denton.
Check the Denton weather, folks. All right. We don't have too many left. So, Miami, Louisville, kind of the headliner on paper anyway. Louisville, a 2.5-point favorite, 64.5 total. It's a big number.
Yeah, everybody's on the Mikhail Cunningham, I guess, Heisman Trophy thing. Miami looked good. I don't know if they look great, but their defensive line is so strong. The number one defensive line in the country, according to Phil Steele. If they shut Louisville down on the run, which I think they can a little bit, I would probably kind of lean Miami here, but that's a guess. Just defensive line shutting down the strong run game of Louisville.
Skipper taking on Southern Miss, Louisiana Tech at The Rock, and Southern Miss is favored by 5.5. 58.5 total. Give me Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, it has to lean on the points there. Again, that's a conference game. I mean, we're jumping into conference games on this for people who don't know, and that is probably
people around here know Conference USA, my friend.
I think that was for that side of the.
Is there an East and a West in Conference USA still?
See what we call them. I don't know if we call them captains.
Leaders and legends?
Leaders and legends. Yes, that's the West. UAB, Southern Miss, and La Tech are top three things. North Texas, people are sleeping on them as the fourth pick. But
okay.
Yeah, so I'd take the
points.
Take the points, even though the home team's off a bad loss to South Alabama at home.
Texas State at UL Monroe.
Love Monroe plus the 4. I just think Texas State got so overvalued by losing to SMU at home. And again, if SMU doesn't fumble the ball away and get those 2 touchdowns called back, they win by 28, and we all cover, and we're happy about that. They turn around and lose to Texas San Antonio. They're playing third straight week. That's another. They're going on the road.
They're playing 3 games before a lot of teams are kicking off, including ECU.
Yeah. And Monroe looked so bad against Army last week, but their offense improved from 27 points a game to 32 points last year. That some of those key pieces are back. I think there'll be a huge improvement from year 1 to 2. They play every single year. That's a conference game. Monroe was picked above. Texas State was picked last in the conference, so remember that. Monroe's won 4 straight games against them. They own the series 4-0, and you're catching them at home plus 4. We're living off of SMU not being able to score against Texas State and win a money line with Texas San Antonio last week. I'm taking the 4, but I'll take money line all day long here with Monroe.
I love your knowledge on UL Monroe. That's unbelievable. All right, this is not good football here, but I'm excited for this Wake Forest NC State game. 8 o'clock ACC Network Saturday night. The Wolfpack 2.5-point favorites. 53 is the total. Give me Wake.
I like Wake.
Give me Wake.
I mean, they fought hard. The quarterback, I think we've seen a little bit before when he's played for Newman some last year. I didn't
Sam Hartman,
I didn't think they were horrible.
He was on QB1 on Netflix along with my Spencer Rattler guy.
And you say they're playing backups, but aren't the Clemson second half backups better than NC State starters?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to start anything here. I'm just saying they are.
I mean, you're right, yeah.
And Wake outplayed them in the second half last week. And they've got a game under their belt, and now, NC State's going to roll out and the typical things we've seen: penalties, turnovers, blindside blocks that get touchdowns called back in college football this year. Yeah, I like Wake in game 2.
All right, I like Wake as well. And 9 o'clock on ESPN3, I'll be watching this one. I'll have something on it because it'll be the only game on at that time. Abilene Christian.
That's called Abilene. Abilene.
What did I say? Oh, Al. I put a L in front of the B.
Very un-Texas-like there.
Abilene?
Yeah.
Maybe it's Abilene. Abilene Christian at UTEP in the old Sun Bowl. The Miracle in the Mine Shaft, one of my favorite ECU games from years ago. Rob Cass with the line drive Hail Mary. Pirates win. UTEP, is this their third game?
It is, yeah. They played...
I'm way behind on UTEP football this year.
They played a good FCS team.
They played the team... No, never mind. I was
Sam Houston State, I think, or Stephen F. Austin won. And they got destroyed by Texas last week. So it's a bad spot. Yeah. Abilene Christian's usually a pretty good team, can score a lot of points. Short drive to UTEP. So we'll see. I don't know what the line is.
I didn't know any place was a short drive to UTEP. So
yeah, Abilene, Texas is kind of out there too. So.
Maybe it's Abilene. All right, that's it for college football. Let's go to break. Shirley, we will come back and talk NFL. Wager kind of like my Washington football team week 1. They are underdogs again. Pretty similar spread. Will he go back to Dwayne Haskins and the Washington football team? Talk about that and all the games when we return after this.
Introducing new Domino's Carside Delivery. Now when you carry out, you don't even need to leave your car. So you don't have to interrupt your favorite song.
It's time to drive down to the rock show.
Or interrupt your kid's favorite song.
We'll be friends just for one.
You can interrupt this, actually.
Try Domino's Carside Delivery when you carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each, and we'll carry out your order to your car contact-free. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary. Excludes XL and specialty pizzas. Crust availability varies by size. Message and data rates may apply when using Domino's Carside Delivery.
North Carolina state parks are now open for visitors. Parks should be used for exercise, fresh air, getting out in nature, or a day trip as the state safely reopens. Visitors should enjoy themselves, but please remember the 3 W's. Wear face coverings, wait 6 feet apart, and wash your hands often. Focus on moving through the park, keep social distancing in mind, and avoid large groups. While most facilities and activities will be open, please contact any state park before your visit with questions or visit ncparks.gov/open.
In studio with Gloria from Kinetic Physical Therapy. What kind of wellness services do you guys offer?
We have massage therapy with your choice of either a relaxation massage, a therapeutic stretching session, or a prenatal massage. We have foot reflexology. We partner with Pirate Cryo for cryotherapy, also known as cold therapy, and we have health and wellness coaching. And if you're interested in holistic body therapy and saving money, we encourage you to check out our wellness membership plan, where you can have all of our wellness services at a constant discounted price. You can learn more today at kptonline.com.
If you are push mowing your yard using an inefficient lawn tractor, or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at a Hustler zero-turn lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated, welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. Come see Ron Ayers Motorsports. It will guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11 north of the airport in Greenville.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
When you can take your eye off a big pizza pie that's Familia.
Take a break from your dining room table and bring the family to Familia for lunch or dinner. Familia offers favorites like New York-style pizza, lasagna, chicken parmesan, chicken marsala, homemade meatballs, plus summer specials like mahi fish and chips, and steak pizzaola. If you need food to go, Familia's drive-thru window is open and ready for all takeout orders. Call 689-6330. Familia, Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College and FamiliaNC.com.
Let us help you get back to business. This is Donald Stocks and Justin Judge of PIP of Eastern North Carolina. We're ready to assist your business with branded PPE. Would you like face masks with your logo? We can do that. Plus custom social distancing signage. Now is the time to ramp up your marketing efforts. Whether it's cutting edge, contactless, touchless marketing, or traditional direct mail, we can do it all. We are PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
Bostic Sugg Furniture wants to know, how'd you sleep last night? If you're like thousands, the answer is probably not very well. You're tired, stressed, your job suffers, and worse, your health suffers. Get better sleep on a Restonic mattress, a Consumer's Digest Award winner 13 years running. Restonic Queen mattresses start as low as $4.99. Restonic two-sided Queen mattresses from only $6.99. If you're ready to wake up to a whole new you, we have a Restonic mattress waiting for you, exclusively at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
Hi, this is Phil Steele of Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Hey, eat healthy at Clean Eats. Sign up for a meal plan at cleaneats.com, or you can stop in to eat at the cafe or grab a meal to go. Clean Eats is located on Red Banks Road, and you can go online.
On the way with Bryce Williams, former ECU tight end. We'll visit with the voice, Jeff Charles. We'll hear more from Mike Houston. And excitement time. We'll open up. Was the call, I believe, earlier in the program. Shirley Rhodes, Chandler Honeycutt producing today's program. Wager McGhee hanging.
John 3-10 against spread last 13. Giants are actually a good road dog, 10-2 last 12.
To him last hour. Falcons at Cowboys, one of those. Dallas -4. Man, I really loved the Cowboys on Sunday night, and that did not work out well for me. You loved the over in that game. In fact, you loved it. You really loved it. And that didn't happen either.
It didn't.
I don't know. Dallas minus, I don't know. I'm staying away from this one, too.
I would definitely go over in this one. Dallas is always overvalued. They're 3-11-1 the last 15 games against the spread versus NFC. And Matt Ryan and the Falcons really love being in a road dog spot. They're 4-1 against the spread the last 5 there. Played great against Seattle. They actually outgained Seattle by almost 150 yards and had 500 yards in the passing attack.
Matty Ice had huge fantasy numbers.
Yeah, well, all three main wide receivers had over 114 yards receiving. So they're going to pick the Cowboys apart, and Van Esch or whatever in the middle there hurts the linebacking core a little bit. But if Dallas will commit to throwing, again, new head coach, and we talked about new head coaches, and I think that's going to carry over some here. That's why I would maybe lean Falcons. But we love the over.
Yeah, I guess I'll ride another Cowboys over with you coming up on Sunday.
I heard they're going to allow 20,000 fans, I think. So teams with fans are 2-0 against the spread and straight up so far.
Interesting stat, Chiefs and Jags. Well, that's a great research stat right there. Lions are 6-point road dogs in Lambeau against the Packers. Total's 49.
If this Rodgers revenge tour, if last week is any indication, and Lions were without their 3 starting cornerbacks or top 3 cornerbacks, I think lost 1 or 2 more in the game. I heard they might be signing guys in the middle of this week for practice. I don't know how they're going to slow that Rodgers passing attack down any. So, historically, Lions own this series from an ATS standpoint. They always seem to play them tight and get under the number, and
I was about
it's
to say,
6.
the Lions don't own anything from an historic standpoint, but against the spread's a different story.
The spread. I think they're 4-0 or 6-0 against the spread. I'm trying to find that game here in my sheets. But
all right, it doesn't matter. Let's move on.
I'm going to look
I'm not betting the Lions.
If they're without their top 4 defensive backs, I'm going to be on the Packers. I think Rodgers, we saw last week what he's doing, from just the passing standpoint, how he's going to be able to pick a secondary apart.
Great letdown spot for the Jags, although backdoor Minshew, that's a pretty big number. Tennessee -9. I could see a late, random touchdown hurting that. Although 9, maybe they'll be up by 20, and Minshew will throw a touchdown, and they'll be down 13 or whatever. But Tennessee -9, that's a lot of points.
I'm going to probably stay away from it, but, you got Jags with a little bit of confidence. I think new offense coordinator Gruden did a very good job there.
Oh, Jay.
Yeah. And Tennessee on a short turnaround week, traveling back from Denver. I don't love that. You would look at that and think that's a Jag spot, but coming off that big win, it's probably gonna even out in week 2.
We should also note who's having fans. You mentioned that Dallas will. Packers aren't. Bears are not.
Raiders aren't. I know that.
So. Browns.
I don't. No, because Cincinnati didn't allow them last week. Cardinals should, right? Arizona.
Not sure. How about the Colts? That's the other 0-1 versus 0-1 matchup I was talking about earlier. Emory Hunt seemed to like the Colts in this game against the Vikings. Total is at 48.5.
We mentioned last week why we like the Jags +8. Rivers now 1-9 against the spread. Last 10's a dog.
Classic Rivers game too.
Fade Rivers. He's without Mack now. They're going to go with Jonathan Taylor, the rookie, or whatever else.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Naheem Hines, former Wolfpack running back, had some good numbers.
I think the Vikings defense looks a little worse, but I do think Rodgers picked them apart, made them look. Their offense was good. The Vikings only had the ball for 19 minutes in that game, had 400 total yards, 34 points. Some of that was against kind of fourth quarter prevent. And the Vikings are a horrible road dog. They're 3-8 against the spread the last 11. But I would lean taking the +3 if I could get all of it. And again, I think this is the other one where, both teams are going to be able to move it on each other. So because it's a desperate spot. You go 0-2, you're probably not making the playoffs, and both these teams were supposed to make the playoffs.
Gut call here. I like Shirley's Dolphins with fans coming up Sunday against the Bills wager.
Oh, I do not.
Bills by 3. Bills is on a field goal.
This may be one of my favorite ones here.
Wow.
So, the offense that the Patriots just ran against the Dolphins is what Josh Allen. I looked at that offense. I'm like, that's the Josh Allen offense.
They're just going to get ran over by quarterbacks all year, or at least all 2 weeks.
Yeah, the fave in this series 5-1 against the spread the last 6, 5-1 straight up, and it's been Buffalo.
It's been. Sorry, you said it twice in a row.
It's Josh Allen. They were 3 of 8 in the red zone. They made it to the red zone 8 times against Jets. They were 3 of 3 to start the game, and then they didn't convert another red zone after that. They really could have scored 50 points in that game. And Miami just gave up 216 rushing yards in that one.
Just feeling some Fitz magic, man. Or a scenario we talked about the other day. You remember when Baker came in the first time for Tyrod? They won that Thursday night game. Maybe Fitzmagic throws 3 first-quarter interceptions. Tua comes in, wins the game. I don't know. I'm speaking out of turn here. You've done the research. I haven't.
Look, as much as the Bills' offense struggles a lot of times, right? They only scored above 30 points 2 times last year. And the 2 times under Josh Allen has the Bills scored over 30 points. And guess who those games were against?
Not this year against Brian Flores, I can tell you that.
Both games against both games against the Dolphins last year. So
I hear you.
31-21 and 37-20. So he's had his 2 best games. The only 2 games he started where the Bills have scored over 28 points were both against Miami last year.
Oh boy.
Fitzmagic was not sharp last week, and this is another really good defense. I think Devontae Parker is questionable for the Dolphins, which is their main offensive weapon. And I think one of the running backs is too. I'm trying to remember who that is. I would check that because if they're banged up against that Bills defense. Yeah, I like everything about the Bills this week. Anybody in Survivor Pool, the last 10 times the Bills have been a favorite, they've won 9 of those 10. So if you're having Colt withdrawals there, so they're probably, it may not cover, but I think they're a pretty good survivor pick.
A lot of what we call good dad games this weekend where you can spend time with the family, and the 49ers at Jets is one of those games for me. No interest in that one at all.
I immediately thought, well, I'm going to be all over the 49ers in this thing, but 7 on the road. The 49ers, I don't know if Kittle's going to play with his knee. They put Richard Sherman on IR today. The rumors Jason Verrett is also out, but then Le'Veon Bell is out. Becton, who is going to have to block Bosa, isn't practicing all week, and Bosa's going to eat them up. And then Gore is their starting running back. They signed Kalen Ballage, who played at Arizona State today, to be his backup. So 37-year-old
Frank. They traded for him. They traded what? They traded and then release him?
I don't know.
They got him from Miami.
Yeah, the note today said that they signed him today, and then some guy off their practice squad is their third string. So if Gore goes down,
he's not going down. He's played forever, so he's good.
Yeah, rookie left tackle trying to block the best defensive line. It will be ugly.
Yeah.
And Jimmy G was so bad last week in that game. I mean, again, that's another thing. They were 1 of 4 in the red zone, 2 of 11 on third. They should have easily scored 30-plus points and blown the Cardinals out, but we're getting value on the Redskins this week against the Cardinals because of that.
I'm counting Tim McManus has the Eagles injury report. There are 9 players. Well, okay, I see. 7 players that either did not participate or are limited. What in the world is going on with the Eagles and their injuries? They host the Rams. They're a 1-point favorite against the Rams at the Link, total at 46.
It's going to be square, I guess, and it looks they were a 4.5-point favorite last week on the look ahead. I think we talked about this. And between injuries and more injuries that happened in the game, and probably the Rams looking good against the Cowboys and win that as a dog, it's flipped to, I think the Rams will be favorite by a kickoff. Either way, it's a pick or one. I like the Rams. I just don't know, again, if Sanders doesn't play, if Alshon doesn't play, if you get a 4th-string offensive tackle trying to block Aaron Donald,
Lane Johnson and Miles Sanders practiced today, so
yeah, practice and effective. Again, if you're beat up offensive line, I think everybody saw what Dallas is a really good offensive line, and Donald just manhandled them in the middle. That's not going to go well. And Wentz, I think there was a report today. Look at it. He's just, I think he's gun shy, and he doesn't have confidence in all those offensive lines. He's got nobody to throw to either.
I've been a Wentz believer, but man, he last week. And again, the Washington got all over him, but even when he had time, he airmailed a bunch of throws, and I don't know.
Last week was rookie Chase Young. This week is Aaron Donald, best player in the league. So on the defensive side, so I like the Rams, and I love the new offensive coordinator and what they did. They were a little bit more conservative. With Gurley gone, that 3-headed monster there, and they can run and be physical and gut a game out just like the Skins did last week.
All right, 5 or 6 minutes left, so unless you really like something, we'll move on. But speaking of defense, the Steelers' defense looked awesome on Monday night. They play the Broncos this week. They're 7.5-point home favorites, and the total's 41.
I can't see Denver scoring very much there, but I'm not laying 7.5 with the Steelers right now, I don't think.
Angry Tom Brady against the Panthers, who do not have a defense. How many points can the Bucs roll up on Sunday?
I think, and also the Arians kind of called him out a little bit, and to me, is Mike Evans healthy, not healthy? The Panthers secondary is not going to be able to stop anybody. And I saw that today Carolina's, I guess, main defensive tackles at short didn't practice and may be out. 8's for a reason.
Out of town with their 1-0 record, feeling good. They take on Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. Everybody had these two teams 1-0 heading into the Week 2 showdown. Old NFC East rivals. The Redskins and Cardinals used to play back at the Larry Centers Bowl, the Joe Bugle Bowl, if you will. He was a part of both of those franchises. Cardinals -6.5 total, 47.5.
Skins were the same way. Arizona is a horrible favorite. They're 2-7 against the spread. The last 9 is a home favorite. They're only 3 fans. He's up. Then what's the line?
Bother. That's what worries me.
He did it against 49ers. It gets too much. I thought last week with the Eagles were an easy one because they have no weapons. Murray's the quickest quarterback.
How many can the Cardinals score in this game? 24.
Yeah, you're 21-24.
Can Washington score 18 points?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, man.
I think they can. I mean, Washington's 6-3 against the spread the last 9 as a road dog. If it gets to 7+, your Washington Football Club is 8-3 against the spread the last 11 as a road dog of 7+. I think this is going to be Washington's way of playing. It may look ugly to begin with, and they may get down 2 touchdowns or 17 points like last week, but I think they'll just
every week they're gonna have to find something on offense. I'm concerned about it. But
Hopkins was incredible last week, but still, that's a new. Cardinals aren't great running the ball except for Murray, so the run game isn't great. And then Hopkins and Murray are still kind of getting on the same page. It makes sense now that Sherman and those guys were banged up a little bit. I think they can contain them a little bit here.
I hope you're right. Lightning round. Chargers 9-point home dogs against the Chiefs.
Nobody owns an NFL series like the Chiefs do against the Chargers, but I will probably stick around. Well, it may scare me off just because the Chargers, the way they're going to play defensive and slow games down, but for anybody that wants to, Kansas City's 11-1 last 12 in the series, 6-0 against the spread the last 6 at the Chargers, 6-1 against the spread overall or 6-1 overall.
Lightning round wager. Okay. Lightning round.
Yeah. Okay. And look ahead, Kansas City and Baltimore play in week 3, so that's nice. There's a lot of things that scare me about the Chiefs.
Speaking of Baltimore, they are 7-point road favorites at Houston.
That doesn't scare me. They beat them 41-7 last week. I just think Texans have no offense again. Duke Johnson may be out. David Johnson may be out. Any Duke or David may be out this week. I just don't think
David Duke is out.
Oh, no.
Okay, not going there.
No. We're not going there. I mean, Fuller, Steele, are they going to be injured? They couldn't stop them last year at all. It wasn't even that close, and Lamar had a great game in that game. But they have 500 total yards to 230 last year, and again, beat them 41-7. Ravens' offense and that run game, if you can't shut that down and Texans can't, but if you do stack line, you're giving up deep passes.
You like the Ravens?
Love the Ravens, and this even with the look ahead.
All right, we have 1 minute, 2 games. Patriots, Seahawks. I wish we could have spent more time on this one. Seahawks, 3.5-point favorite at home. Total's 45.
Weird stat of the visitor in Seattle games is now 13-4-1 against the spread the last 18.
That 12th man thing has seemed to take a turn the last season.
And I don't even know if they're going to allow the 12th man in.
They might only have 11 men.
I like the Patriots plus the points. I know it's a lot of Brady stuff, but they're 8-1 straight up and against the spread. Last 9 is the dog. Again, Seattle didn't really play great against Atlanta. I mean, Russell Wilson did, but they gave up 500-plus yards to them. So, and New England didn't really show much from Cam of what they're going to do passing the ball.
30 seconds.
Okay.
No, I mean, you got time.
Last one. We're good. Raiders, NOLA, right?
6-point underdogs to New Orleans in the
Legion,
the new Giant Stadium they have.
Yeah, I like the Raiders plus the points. Thomas is out for the Saints. Wide receiver Thomas is out. There are a lot of underneath short passes stuff. I think Breeze is maybe not the same quarterback. Gruden will see that on film. Love that. We'll probably sprinkle with the Raiders there.
I like the Raiders
a little bit as well.
Shirley, hit the music as we recap. Your favorite football game, at least your favorite over, was the North Texas game. You think they get to 100? You said that. Why are you laughing?
Find the alternate 99.5 if your book offers it.
What are the other college ones you love off the top of your head?
I like State plus the points. Georgia State, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Local State for me.
We like Wake Forest against NC State.
I like Wake Forest, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Monroe. We're on dogs. Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech will pull the upset by
Dog day afternoon.
I like the over there. So,
all right.
Lots of dogs.
NFL Raiders, one of your favoriits?
Over Cowboys Falcons, I think.
Over Cowboys Falcons.
And any Ravens thing you can get.
And Washington football team.
And I like Washington football team. I'm telling you, Bengals tomorrow night could go on that list.
Bengals. All right, sounds good. We will tweet out some of Wager's top plays with our Pirate Radio picks. Wager, it always goes by way too fast.
NACAR 2:18.9.
2:18.9.
I always go 2:18, but I think 9 probably wins it.
Okay. Ooh,
Chase.
All right, I like it. I think you're right. Bristol coming up on Saturday night. We'll talk to you next week, Wager.
Yep, thank you.
Take a time out, come back. I believe former ECU tight end Bryce Williams is walking in the door as we speak.
Got a lot of Mike Houston cuts to get to. The voice Jeff Charles,
We're having
all that.
a frickin' game.
Oh, thank you, Mike. We're having a freaking game. Excitement time.
Excitement time.
Excitement time. Take a timeout. Come back. More to go after this.
Oktoberfest is coming to Winterville this Saturday, September 19th. Naughty Dog Brewing Company and Local Oak Brewing Company are teaming up for a fun day of cold beer, food trucks, costume contest, Oktoberfest game, every dog, and Local Oak, Winterville.
Your CBD store in Greenville has the highest quality CBD products in the country. Your CBD store is the first and only brand that carries USDA certified organic products such as gummies, honey sticks, and high absorption. You can stop in anytime to get a free sample. Your CBD
From Fixed NC, and Mike, you guys have a disinfecting service for homes and businesses.
Yes, we have a two-step process that includes disinfecting and also provides 30 days of protection to all surfaces treated. We're doing this for 10 cents a square foot in businesses and $10 a room in your home.
Mike, how can folks get in touch with you?
Call me directly at my cell, 252-999-0001. Again, 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Or fixednc.com.
Hey guys, listen up. The next 30 seconds is very important because we have an announcement. Shimmer Boutique is your one-stop shop to make you look good and thoughtful. This is Ashley at Shimmer Boutique. We specialize in men's and women's apparel and also carry the biggest selection of local hats and jewelry. From Yetis to Hey Dudes, this is the place for you. Did I mention we also have free gift wrapping? Come check us out at our new location on Greenville Boulevard behind Starbucks. Shimmer is your one-stop shop for the whole family, and we will always make your shopping experience easy and fun.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and welcome inside the booth. We have lost 3 college basketball coaching legends in a matter of a few days. I'll have some thoughts next.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. For starters, they love a nice, cold Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's delicious, it's refreshing, and it has zero sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. Because who decided beef shouldn't have a buddy? And the drink with their feast? Yeah, they have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. No compromises there. Oh, and when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. They're the kind of person jorts were made for. 50% jeans, 50% shorts, 100% the most comfortable thing that's ever graced your wardrobe. Not compromising never looked so good. So crack open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and taste what it's like to have it all. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar done right. That's what I like.
John Thompson, Lou Olson, and Lou Henson, 3 college basketball coaching legends, all passed away in recent weeks. 2 of them won national championships. Thompson at Georgetown, Olson at Arizona, and Henson took Illinois to the Final Four. Thompson was an imposing figure at 6'10". He was Bill Russell's backup with the Boston Celtics for 2 years. His teams played with an edge and tried to intimidate the opposition. Olson and Henson had similar personalities. They were gentlemen. I broadcast University of Illinois basketball in the late 70s and early 80s and was around Coach Henson almost daily through the basketball season. I never heard him utter the first curse word. All 3 coaches stood the test of time. They made an incredible impact on the coaching profession. It is somewhat ironic that we lost all 3 of them just weeks apart. Come on back again next time and we'll visit inside the booth.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by the Auto Store Group. Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. Keep your vehicle clean with the Pirates Cove Car Wash Fast Pass. All 3 Pirates Cove Car Wash locations are offering Fast Passes for only $9.99 for all new Fast Pass customers. You can visit their other locations in Greenville on 10th Street, Fire Tower Road, and Memorial Drive. Pirates Cove Car Wash, the ultimate car wash experience and the official car wash of
Falcons of football with freaking game. He said that, Bryce.
Oh, yeah, I saw
excitement
that.
Time. It's excitement time. By the way, Redbeard said it really is excitement time. Do you know why, Shirley?
No, I do not.
Because the Big Ten is back. Do you know what that means, Shirley? That means
excitement time.
We'll see if Scotty Montgomery
We'll win 3 games again this year with Maryland. The streak is alive.
Oh, that's right.
We got to keep it going.
They're playing an 8-game season.
Well, so 3 and 5. Oh, there's no way he'll get to 3 with only 8 games. No way. No chance. No chance. All right, we got to give away a prize during this hour as well out of the booty bag, as we'll make you a winner of a lunch for 2 to tiebreakers coming up later on. Also, we'll visit with the voice, Jeff Charles, in just a moment. More on that, more Bryce Williams, and more to go on Pirate Radio Live. We're back after this.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is former ECU tight end Bryce Williams from my friends at the Auto Store Group. If you're in the market for a quality used vehicle, then the Auto Store Group is for you. The Auto Store Group has 3 locations and over 150 quality used vehicles to choose from for all budgets. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. And remember, every purchase comes with a free bucket of fun. The Auto Store Group, your hometown store, Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Go Pirates!
How much does the word reliable mean? Sure, all businesses describe themselves as reliable, and we certainly wouldn't expect any business to be unreliable, but when you take a word like reliable and make it your way of life, the entire core of your business, it tends to mean a little more. And it's something you have to show people, not tell them. At Delcor, we show it by being there the same day you call. We show it by simply doing outstanding work with exceptional products, a family-oriented work ethic, and genuine caring for all of our neighbors throughout Eastern NC, because in a time of need, we know the first and the only thing you need is someone you can count on. That's why we only use equipment you can count on too, like a train comfort system. It's hard to stop a train. Delcor can have a new train comfort system installed in no time, or we can provide an AC tune-up to make sure your system is performing well. So will your system keep you cool all summer? Find out. Call us. We're Delcor, the service professionals, reliable for over 4 decades. Visit delcorinc.com today.
UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory ever. Brand new Adidas is arriving daily, along with Under Armour, Columbia, and Russell Athletic. UBE is loaded with cargo, and new items are being added daily to PirateWear.com. Be sure to check out our children's store, The Crow's Nest, for all of your young pirates. UBE and PirateWear.com, an ECU tradition for 50 years. Go Pirates!
Know what I like most about my new phone from US Cellular?
I don't know.
That it was $700 off.
What? Switch to US Cellular and get $700 off the latest phones. US Cellular. Choose fair.
Promotional pricing requires an unlimited everyday or even better plan. New line, port in, credit approval, qualified smartphone purchase, and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month retail installment contract. Taxes, fees, and additional restrictions apply.
Does the idea of going to your local U.S. Cellular store make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Tired of the hassle of waiting and wearing a mask? Let Toby Williams and his outside sales team take away that worry. They will come right to your home or office and drop your phone off on the porch or at the front desk for you. Saving you time and worry is what the team at Cellular Warehouse is all about. Call Toby today at 252-799-7051 and let them help you with all of your wireless needs. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
When you don't have time to go to lunch, let Jimmy John's deliver lunch to you. With Jimmy John's, we can get a freaky fresh sandwich to you freaky fast. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com. Dinner's great. It's one of your top 3 favorite meals. You just don't want to have to make it. Well, with Jimmy John's, you don't have to. Whether you live in a sandwich delivery zone or head into the store, you can always get a freaky fresh sandwich. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com.
Hi, this is Brian Meador from East Carolina Athletics. You're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by the Auto Store Group, Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com.
3 locations and over 150 quality used vehicles to choose from for all budgets. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. And remember, every purchase comes with a knife. Here's your host.
This is here, Bryce. When we talk kickoff, finally.
Well, that'll be today's going to be a good segment, but
yeah.
Game week? Are you kidding me?
A freaking game.
Excitement time!
Exactly. Excitement time! Does it feel real to you, or did you still...
I don't know.
It's starting to feel real to me. The NFL got me back. College football, we've seen that a few weeks now, and starting to feel it a little bit.
It is.
The weather, there was a nip to the air yesterday.
That got me fired up. That got me excitement.
Excitement time!
Yeah.
Excitement time!
Bryce walked out, felt that weather, and...
Oh, man. I was ready to be in the deer stand, football, fish.
All right, not yet, Bryce.
Sorry.
We'll get to Pirate Radio Outdoors later in the hour, so we got that coming your way. We got a lot with Bryce. Got a lot of Mike Houston, the former tight end for ECU. Same. We talk to you next week. It'll be game week.
No, it doesn't, Clip. I'm still trying to figure it out, to be honest with you. And, when we do finally kick the game off, it'll be like a month late because the games were supposed to start August 29th, and it's going to be September 26th. So we're right at a month late to start, but better late than never, right?
And Voice, we'll be checking out UCF Georgia Tech this week. UCF, the first Pirate opponent, coming up Saturday, September 26th, noon kickoff. We have an 8 a.m. start time on the Bud Light pregame tailgate, so wake up with us bright and early. Jeff, I know, and having you on the show, I don't ask you much about what's going on outside of ECU during football season because really you don't have time to watch other football games. Now, you've had an opportunity these past few weeks, so have you watched any college football, and will you be keeping an eye on what UCF does on Saturday?
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, I certainly will. Be very interested to see what UCF can do on Saturday because Georgia Tech might be a little bit better than what people thought they were going to be. So that now is a big game coming up on Saturday, and we'll know a little bit more about the nights after that. But yes, last Saturday, Clip, I had an opportunity to watch a lot of college football games, and they were good games to watch. Almost all of them were. You got to get used to not having big crowds there. But as far as the play is concerned, I think I've been pleasantly surprised when you look at the lack of time these guys have had to practice, that the caliber of play has been pretty darn good, and the games have been good to watch as well. So that's all good. And then, of course, the NFL, you're right, when you and I have talked in past years, it's always kind of tough for me to pay a whole lot of attention to the NFL, but I have been able to watch what happened this past week. And, again, there were some very intriguing games this past week in the National Football League. But I think, Clip, people all across the country are just starved for football, whether it be college football, pro football, high school football. Some states are playing high school football. Some of them aren't. And, people just love football in this country. Let's face it. And it's a big-time social event for a lot of folks. They have really missed it. And at least we're getting it back now in some portion.
And some folks, Jeff, will not be starving for football any longer that are in your neck of the woods right now, the Big Ten. And it's been a soap opera. We ask you about it every Wednesday. Will they come back? Is there any chance they come back? Well, now, Jeff, they're coming back, and they'll be playing football in late October. How about the latest twist in this story, Jeff, that presidents meet, I guess they vote, and they all decide, hey, we're going to play in 2020.
Yeah, well, Cliff, I think it's all about the pressure. There was a lot of pressure on them to restart practice and then to start the season, and it came from the very, very top with President Trump and what he said a couple of weeks ago, and then, of course, the coaches and all the players and the players' parents and some media really took a hardline stance and said they should not play this year, but there were some other media members that encouraged the start of the Big Ten season again, and you're right, they're going to start October 24th. It's going to be a 9-week season. They're going to play 8 games in 9 weeks, so there will be a bye in there, and then they will play the Big Ten championship game like they do every year in December, late December, and then the Big Ten will also be eligible to compete for a national championship in the college football playoff. I know some people are not real happy about that because they're not going to play as many games as some of the other leagues, but, in this imperfect world that we're dealing with now, Clip, I mean, there's not a really good way to do anything. And so it is what it is, and everybody's just trying to do the best they can.
Visiting with the voice, Jeff Charles. Excited to hear him and Kevin Monroe. Have you kept up with Kevin and Marty and the guys this offseason? Jeff, usually, you spend time away and you're with your wife, and you haven't seen those guys in a while. So have you been checking in on Kevin and Marty Fuhrer, your broadcast team?
Oh, yeah. We stay in contact. We had a conference call about a week or so ago, Clip, and started to talk about how we're going to do all of this, and we've got another conference call next Tuesday. So yes, and I think as I've mentioned on your show in previous weeks, the game plan now is we're not going to travel to away games, and all of us, quite honestly, that was a unanimous vote. I don't think any of us wanted to travel, so thank goodness for Learfield IMG, and they've been really good about allowing the networks, the individual networks, to make that call pretty much themselves. In fact, they have really encouraged most of the networks not to travel this year, so it made the decision a little bit easier for all of us. We had a few options on the table when we looked at the schedule. If we didn't want to fly either charter or commercial, every game the Pirates play this year was drivable in a one-day drive, with the exception of Tulsa. Now, it'd be pretty tough to drive to Tulsa and back for a football game, but going to Orlando's about 9 hours, up to Philly's only 6.5. Cincinnati's about 9 to 10 hours. So those games were all drivable if we chose to do so. But it looks like we're just going to continue, Clip, and do the games. Every game this year for us will be a home game at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium, Bagwell Field, because we will utilize the radio network for all the away games and watch the monitor and broadcast the games from the monitor. So it's going to be different, and like you and I talked last week, it's just tough for me to get my head around a 50,000-seat stadium next Saturday, and nobody's sitting in there, and we're broadcasting a football game. So, it's going to be almost a surreal experience, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be strange for sure. And again, hoping, and Mike Houston commented on it yesterday, it looks like they are going to try to get 50 people in the stadium, which is all that's allowed right now. But it looks like they're going to try to get some parents in there for seniors and things like that. We'll hear from Mike Houston in just a moment. Excited, Jeff, to have you once again as part of our Bud Light pregame tailgate coming up, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday as we get folks ready for UCF, and looking forward to obviously talking to you here on the show, but looking forward to talking to you on game days, voice, and excited to finally break down some Pirate football again. That'll be fun coming up.
Yeah, you and me both, Cliff. I think we're well overdue, and it's going to be a lot of fun, but it's a little bit bittersweet for me on Saturday, a week from Saturday, from game day, because this will be the first year in 33 years that we've not done a UBE Pirate preview show live from UBE. And I've mentioned this story before, but when I came to town in 1988, I approached Don Edwards about doing a show on game day from UBE, and we started that thing in 1988. We've gone through 32 years of it, and this year, for obvious reasons, we will not have the show at UBE, but I'll be more than happy to join you guys on their game day, which you guys do such a great job with that. So I will be a part of that show. But again, a little bit sad that we won't be at UBE. Maybe this is just a one-year sabbatical, and we'll be back at UBE next year.
We hope so. Love you and Don. Don getting us off to an energetic start on our pregame show, and hopefully that'll return certainly in 2021. Voice, always enjoy catching up with you. We'll talk to you next week on Game Week. It's exciting stuff, so looking forward to it, Jeff.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll break down the ECU UCF game. I'm getting ready already, Clip.
All right.
Getting ready with the personnel on both teams. We'll break it down for you next week.
Sounds good. There's the voice, Jeff Charles, joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. We'll be visiting with the voice on Wednesdays, of course, and also on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. We're hoping we can get Bryce when he's not in a boat or in a tree, in a stand, to join us on the pregame show a few times this season, Tulsa football. So, but glad to have Bryce Williams here with us on a Wednesday. Shirley, let's hit a cut or two before we take a time out here. And Bryce, I want to ask you about this. You can go ahead and start thinking. Were there any guys that maybe started the season on scout team
You can think about your time if you were ever on the scout team that ended up being a key part of a team later in the year. While you think about that, Ronnie Woodward asked Mike Houston about that. Shirley, this is cut 10, about guys on the scout team now that you might have to count on later in the year with everything going on. Here's what he had to say.
And that's I talk, especially this year. I mean, I think this year everybody better be ready to play, because you never know who is going to get pulled on, your Friday COVID test. Yeah, it's the reality. There are some kids that are on our scout offense or scout defense that will travel and play on special teams. There are guys, we have seen it many years, where there's a guy at the beginning of the year on the scout team that ends up starting by the end of the year. And that's the thing you love about college football. And that's the thing, that I try to preach to our kids is, you're going to earn your time based on your performance. Once we get out there, I don't care who they are, what their last name is, what class they are, scholarship, walk-on, doesn't matter. I don't care. The best players are going to be the ones that takes the snaps on game days.
All right, there is Mike Houston talking in the Zoom on Tuesday, and with this season and all the uncertainty, you might have some scout team guys who are playing key roles later in the year. Bryce, does anybody come to mind for you? Do you remember anybody jumping from scout team to starting team?
I'm having trouble. I'm trying kind of drawing a blank. Fortunately, I mean, well, as far as the first season I was available, we came to ECU, it was called, I think we called it just Thursday Night Football, and it was the underclassmen, and or, your red shirts or anything like that. And that was the scout team guys, and we would have a scrimmage, every Thursday night, and then, pretty much full go and everything. And fortunately, that's where I was able to, kind of, I guess, catching out of the coaches during those. And, fortunately, it wasn't on the starting team, but they ended up moving me to travel squad, and it was on the depth chart with special teams and things like that. So,
way to get looked at. Sure.
Definitely. And that's like Coach Houston said. That's the good thing about college football. I mean, if you're performing, you're showing what you're doing. In scout team, and you're making first team defense look bad. I mean, and I don't know if they do the Thursday Night Football stuff, but they're, like you said, like we said, and I don't care if you're a walk-on, what class you are, your name, who you are, if you're playing well, doing your assignments, to move up. And I think that's a great thing for these guys.
All right, now let's talk about, junior and senior Bryce Williams going against the scout team. So when you were on it, you're trying to do all you can to make a name for yourself. How pesky are the guys defending you? Like, how competitive does it get for those underclassmen guarding, big Bryce Williams, the senior?
I mean, a few times, it'll get a little, not chippy, but we'll get, pretty competitive and stuff. And, you kind of like, I mean, I'll be honest, sometimes some of the scout team guys would get me, you can't win them all. So that was always fun doing that. And sometimes you're like, okay, guys, like, I need you to give me a better look and things like that. So you can quit.
You had to tell them that you need more competition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's like, you're not going to help me out. Just let me block you and stuff. But that was a rare, rare thing. And I cannot. Oh, I remember. A good guy was me and Randall. I cannot remember I can't remember his last name, but he was a good scout team player as far as the defensive line and stuff.
Is it Anderson?
I think it was Anderson. Yeah, on the line. And I remember Austin Teague. Like he was a good DB whenever I think we've had to go against him.
Mike Houston was also asked about a tight end, Jeremy Lewis, who he wants to see healthy, wants to be able to get out on the field, make some plays like he did.
He's battled some nagging stuff during preseason camp. The difference in this year and last year's, last year he let the the little stuff, twisted ankle or a strained hip flexor or something like that. He let that stuff, hold him out last year. He pushed through it during preseason camp. We were able to get him some rest over the weekend, get him back going full speed. And really feel good about the the kind of preseason camp he's had.
We'll circle back to Lewis in a second, Bryce, but something you said last week kind of stuck with me. Yesterday, Igo was talking about one, a standout on the defensive line this fall camp has been a walk-on. And, how does that happen? Well, first of all, he has to perform well, but secondly, guys are missing time, whether it be due to COVID, due to nagging injuries, whatever. And I remember you said last week that, if you're not out there in the practice field, you can get lapped, and it's tough to catch back up, right? So that's kind of what Lewis is doing now, trying to stay in practice, stay on the field. because ECU with Bird and Calhoun trying to stock up that tight end room, he doesn't want to fall behind those guys.
Right. And I guess sort of just the first note you had brought up with the the standout D-line guy being a walk-on, and obviously have a soft spot with walk-ons. I mean, not saying they're all scholarship players like that, but especially as a walk-on, which nobody is, you're not entitled to a position. You have to earn what you get, and having a walk-on sort of be that standout is like, well, yeah, because we want to earn something and we want to prove we have something to prove, and everybody should have something to prove. But just walk-ons, sort of have that behind the 8 ball when you first get on the team typically, and to see that is good. But yeah, as far as staying healthy, and hopefully Jeremy can stay healthy. You gotta. You can't, help some injuries during the game and stuff, but he's, definitely he has to be conscious of, taking care of his body, hydrating, stretching, all, the whole nine, so he can stay healthy. And I know I've seen a little bit of him during last fall camp. He made a big play in red zone, and it was, I think, my first practice I saw, and I was like, that was awesome to see him make a play, and all the guys jumped around him and everything. So from what I've seen from Jeremy so far, he definitely looks like a good player. Excited to see what he can do this year.
Does the taking care of your body, making sure you're doing the right things off the field, eating right, is that something that you develop as you go on in college? I mean, for you personally, did your habits change the older you got?
Yeah, I think so. You get more knowledgeable of kind of what to do, and sleep's a huge thing, and kind of when to, we'll say, socialize is a big part of it, and getting your priorities straight. I mean, from with the gym, during weightlifting and your conditioning and all that, you definitely, especially as you start to see, okay, what can come of my college career, how can I prolong this and move to the next level, you start to definitely prioritize things.
Talking to big Bryce Williams, former ECU tight end. The Pirates are in a mock game week, so Ronnie Woodward asked, what exactly did that entail on Tuesday's practice? What did a game week practice look like?
Well, we were in full pads today. Heavy emphasis on the coverage teams in the kicking game. Had some live field goal block work at the end of practice. Had some good-on-good sessions where it's still, ones against ones and twos against twos for about 10 minutes of, kind of offense and defense, about 10 minutes of skelly. Everything else was scouted. So we had a lot of different scouted periods, doing some different things on each side of the ball, depending on what we were doing. But still some competition stuff, perimeter drill today, some one-on-one stuff.
There is Mike Houston talking about Tuesday's practice. Bryce, I was thinking back to my buddy Tony Dunn, Panthers fan, used to always go to training camp, and he talked about like how short the drills were that you're doing, because you try to get a lot of different things in a short amount of practice time. And I don't know if college is the same way, but he's talking about, we go 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. It's really not that long a time you're doing one certain thing, right? You're doing a bunch of different things.
Yeah, it's definitely broken up, like I said, 10 minutes. It depends. Individual period, especially in NFL, depending on the team and everything. That 10 minutes can seem like a long time, especially when you're pushing a sled and working on blocking drills.
Right.
And
so that's why it's not longer than that. Because,
exactly.
Yeah.
The key there is to not look at the clock. You just you look at the clock, you're done. The beginning of practice was always, I think for a lot of guys, was the hardest. You kind of been in school all day, and you just had a 30-minute walkthrough, and then bam, 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 bam. And you're just like, oh my goodness. And then you kind of get that second wind. Yeah. So those little individual periods can be nice. It's nice when you got your coach more explaining, rather than doing sometimes. But yeah, it's all good.
Talking to Bryce Williams, Mike Houston, Shirley Cut 6 was asked about the physicality of this fall camp. Has he been pleased with it? Has he been able to have a physical fall camp?
Well, that's what we tried to do throughout preseason camp. Our live work, the last live work we're going to have before Central Florida was last Friday. And so that scrimmage is the last time that we're going to tackle our offensive backs to the ground. Now, the scout work that we get defensively, and the scout work we get offensively, it's a pretty aggressive thud tempo. So it's close, but it's not quite there. I think we've got to constantly, create some competitive situations in practice, to really make our guys play fast against speed. That's going to be the key for us. The second key for us is going to be, knowing when to dial it back and make sure that we're fresh for the game.
All right, Bryce, what do you think about that? The last, they had the scrimmage last Friday, so they're going to have basically 2 weeks until they play. But he talked about the thud tackling. What, is it a huge difference, the to the ground tackling and the thud?
I don't think there is a little bit of variance there, but I think these guys have had plenty of time to get used to the going to the ground. And during this time that they've had this month delay, and then thud, I think for the defense, I guess for both sides, honestly, you still, as long as you're getting that physicality and getting hit and get ball security, because I tell you, there's been plenty of times when you think, I guess me personally not, maybe once, but you're going to thud, and kind of the offensive guys are kind of lackadaisical with the ball, but the defensive guys, they're going to thud you, and then the hit's technically going to be right around the same amount of force, I guess you could say, and if that ball flies out there and thud, you're going to get an earful. So and I think it's a good technical thing for the defensive guys, and I think it still keeps everybody aware that getting hit.
I guess the sand pit was pretty famous at practice, and I want to say it was it Breon that we talked to one day who was super sweaty, and the sand, it was all over him. He couldn't get off him.
Yeah.
So we were interviewing him, and he was covered in sand. Did you have to visit that area?
I can't recall one at the moment, but yeah, I remember. I think it was the running backs. My goodness, if you fumbled, I think it was poor Bree on that one practice. He couldn't hold on to the ball, and oh goodness, I think maybe 2 or 3 times he might have gone to the sand pit, and it is, just look at those guys and just, I'm there with you.
I'm with you in spirit, but I'm not getting down there with you physically.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a time out. More Mike Houston, more Bryce Williams. We got our Pirate Radio Outdoors segment with Bryce coming up later on in today's show. It's excitement time, Shirley.
Booty, 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 booty everywhere. Booty, 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 booty everywhere. Excitement time.
317-1250. Excitement time. Caller number 12 is a winner of lunch for 2 to Tiebreakers. Great spot for lunch. Awesome menu. Burgers, wings, cheesesteak is good. That hangover plate that I had. With the it's got hash browns on the bottom, eggs, sausage, bacon, cheese. It was awesome. It was great. Tiebreakers, lunch for 2 on the line right now. 317-1250. Caller 12 is a winner. More to go with Bryce Williams after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, get an all-new 2020 Buick Enclave and save over $9,500 off. As always, Brown & Wood is the home of the lifetime warranty.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
In studio with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you guys have a disinfecting service for homes and businesses.
Yes, we have a 2-step process that includes disinfecting and also provides 30 days of protection to all surfaces treated. We're doing this for 10 cents a square foot in businesses and $10 a room in your home.
Mike, how can folks get in touch with you?
Call me directly at my cell, 252-999-0001. Again, 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Or fixednc.com.
This is Dr. Elizabeth Robinson with Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. Our extended care clinic is open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our office on W.H. Smith Boulevard. We treat a variety of urgent orthopedic conditions without an appointment. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at www.orthoeast.com.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers.
Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates.
Register for Army ROTC to be a leader and an officer in the U.S. Army, Army Reserve, or Army National Guard. You could also be eligible for a full tuition scholarship. Lead the team that makes a difference. To learn more, contact Dale Anderson at 252-622-5346 or Anderson, DAL, at ECU.edu. Paid for by the United States Army.
Warren's Hot Dog Pizza, homemade lemonade.
Hey, Pirate Nation, Warren's Hot Dogs, 2 locations are open for business in Greenville and Chocowinity. Both locations have drive-through windows, so stop by today for hot dogs, pizzas, subs, apple and peach turnovers, homemade lemonade, and breakfast in Chocowinity, featuring homemade cheese, ham, and chicken biscuits, plus sausage dogs and more. Warren's in Greenville, across from Ron Ayers Motorsports, and in Chocowinity, next to the fire department. Warren's Hot Dogs. Want some? Get some.
Got big dreams for your small business? You're not alone. The Gavigan Agency Insurance Services is a growing business too. That's why they work with Nationwide, the #1 small total business insurer in the U.S. Nationwide can help protect and grow your business so you can focus on making your small business dreams come true. Give the Gavigan Agency Insurance Services a call today at 252-756-1400. Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval.
Hey, welcome to Jack Brown's. What can I get you?
Can I get a vodka soda with a lime, please?
No liquor, just beer.
We have beer out the wazoo.
And we don't even know what a wazoo is.
IPAs, sours, gozes, wheats, stouts, porters, you name it, we got it.
Drink 100 beers and join the Notch Club. Don't be a nerd. Ask about the Notch Club.
Yeah, we've got the best craft beer in Greenville.
Awesome. I'll take a Pactolus Light.
You got it, on the way.
Jack Brown's Beer and Burger Joint, located at 805 Dickinson Avenue, right in the heart of Uptown Greenville.
This is assistant football coach Drew Dudzik, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by the Auto Store Group. Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Shop their entire inventory today at the...
It closed at 28,032. The NASDAQ was down 139 points at 11,000. Looking to investing, call Wells Fargo Advisors today at 756-6900 in Greenville. Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member. And some interesting news coming out. The NCAA just announced that it is official. November 25th will be the opening day for college basketball. Sweet. And some news out of the Pac-12. Of course, the Big Ten announcing that they're going to start their season in October. The California governor has said that schools can play if they choose to, and Oregon's governor has given Oregon and Oregon State the green light to start practicing. So we'll keep an eye on that. So now all eyes are turning to the Pac-12.
Yeah, I still think they want to have some type of Rose Bowl at the end of the year. Bryce and I were talking, I think off the air, Bryce, about bowl games, and you talked about if there's no bowl games, how much that stinks for the players. And right now, all you might have is conference championships and a college football playoff. But if the Pac-12 can get any kind of games in, I could definitely see there being a Rose Bowl between the Big Ten and the Pac-12. So, all right, well, we got college hoops cranking up in November and potentially some more football teams playing this fall. There you go. I like it. All right, excitement time for Josh Thomas, who won just a moment ago.
Excitement time.
Let's hit that full cut again. Mike Houston talking to the team. This was put out by ECU Athletics, and this is where we got the frickin' game and excitement time cut from. Hit that, Shirley.
11 a.m. I have a game day operations meeting. That means we're having a frickin' game. Okay? Next Saturday. It's here. Okay? It's no longer a wish, a maybe, or whatever. We're playing September the 26th. Okay? That's why it's urgency time. Excitement time and urgency time.
There you go, Bryce.
We're having a freaking game.
We're having a freaking game.
I was hoping the players were like hooting and holler or something. Maybe they just got done doing sprints or something.
They were a little winded.
They were tired.
I know, you're right. I thought there would be more of a reaction there, but he probably just wore them out. So
probably. I like it.
They were catching their breath a little bit. Let's hear a little bit more from Mike Houston, and
Let's go. What haven't we run yet? Okay. This good segue. He was asked about, when you see a kickoff time, a broadcast time, does it make it feel more real? And I think he referenced that cut we just had, Shirley.
Well, I told the kids a few minutes ago, I've got a game day operations meeting tomorrow. That means we're getting ready for game day. You have a kickoff time set and you know what channel it's on. Do I wish it was, 7 o'clock prime time? Absolutely. But, 12 o'clock's fine too. We're just ready to go play a game.
I don't think he cares at this point what time, where it is. It doesn't matter. He's ready for a football game. Shirley, cut 4. What would a win over UCF mean for Mike Houston and for the ECU program?
Well, I think back to the other programs, that we've led, and you always remember that first signature win. That first big win that kind of validates what you're doing. It'll come in time. I don't know when it's going to come. I'd love for it to be the 26th, and I think we're going to play well against Central Florida. I think it's going to be a great game. But when that time comes, really, what it does is that's you usually see a switch that has flipped within your players. The Cincinnati game last year is a great example. For 3.5 quarters, we played a phenomenal ball game, but we didn't finish it. When that switch flips, you start finishing those games. You start closing out the Cincinnati game, closing out the SMU game. I just think back to my second year at the Citadel. When I got there, everybody told us, don't set your expectations too high. You can't win championships here. You want to be competitive. Go out and win your fair share, but don't put your expectations too high. And the kids believed that when we got there. That second year, those kids, when we knocked off Wofford, first time that the Citadel had beaten them in like 20 years, we knocked off Wofford at home. That game was the signature win, and we rattled off many more that year, but that was the win that did it. And so you always remember that one win. So it's coming. I don't know when it is. Hopefully it's next Saturday.
All right, there's Mike Houston looking for that first signature win. And as he said, had a couple of opportunities last year. One against UCF where they had a nice comeback. One against Cincinnati. SMU last year would have been a signature win if they'd have gone on the road. But they're in those games, Bryce, just couldn't finish those games.
Right.
That's the next step, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, as soon as you said the Cincinnati and SMU game, I think that's obviously been the most excitement I've been towards ECU football. I was fired up about the plays we were making on offense, defense. That was a good game, and A&M kept on saying, "Would you be quiet?" I was just being so loud. I was like I was in Daddy Fix, and it was great. And there's no doubt this team can do it. And with those performances being shown in SMU and Cincinnati, and to do that, knock off UCF at home and with no crowd. That'll be huge. Saying, look, we can play under some adversity here.
Yeah.
And that'll be huge. And like I said, I'm optimistic every game. So I think the guys can do it.
I think back to kind of the early rough era, and Lincoln Riley was putting up a ton of points, but then against North Carolina, West Virginia, Virginia Tech, the offense would scuffle a bit, and it took them a little while. But you want to talk about rattling off wins. It seemed like, I don't know, after the first one came, a bunch of them came against those Power 5 opponents.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And like you said, when you get that signature win, he said something in the team clicks. I think once that clicks, there's momentum, and there's just guys saying, finally come to the realization, like, look, we can do this, we can play. And once that team, mojo, once they get that, my goodness, they can just keep on rolling.
All right, Mike Houston comments. We'll have more from him coming up later on this week as we are halfway through, Shirley. Next week is game week.
We're having a freaking game.
We're having a freaking game. It's starting to feel real to us here at Pirate Radio. We'll be with you bright and early Saturday, September 26th at 8 a.m. as the Bud Light pregame tailgate returns. And then immediately after the game, it's the U.S. Sailor fifth quarter call-in show. Myself, Shirley, the crew will be here with Rick Smith. So we'll have Rick Smith here to field some of the questions and calls after ECU football games this season. So that'll be exciting as well. We'll talk to Coach Smith coming up on Friday's edition of Pirate Radio Live. Morgan Naylors will be here as well tomorrow on the show. On Thursday, We'll take a closer look at UCF as they prepare for their game against Georgia Tech. We'll talk to the voice of the Knights, Mark Daniels, coming up Thursday right here on Pirate Radio Live. Let's get our final break in. We'll come back, and we will have Pirate Radio Outdoors with Bryce Williams. We'll find out what he was up to this week. Was his rod on fire this weekend? We'll have the...
Is that the place we got the awesome meat pizza?
Yep, that's the place. Should we do dine-in?
Night at CPW's. CPW's is open daily at 3 p.m. and has been serving the Greenville community since 19...
Naughty Dog Brewing Company and Local Oak Brewing Company are teaming up for a fun day of cold beer, food trucks, costume contests, Oktoberfest games like Hammerschlagen, a mug relay, and more. The fun starts at noon and goes until 11 p.m. with plenty of room indoors and outdoors for everyone. Both Naughty Dog and Local Oak will be releasing 2 new beers each that day. Oktoberfest this Saturday, noon to 11 p.m. at Naughty Dog and Local Oak, Winterville.
Hey guys, do you not do your hair and nails need some work? When is the last time you looked at your feet? Guys, I can assure you that the ladies love a nicely groomed man. I'm Amanda and I have the solution. The Man Cave is now open, offering salon services for men only. Men, come enjoy the
Papadilla. The Papadillas are part sandwich and barbecue chicken and bacon, all for only $6 each. Also, for a limited time, get any large 5-topping pizza for only $13.99. Place your order today online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685842. Equal housing lender.
If you're like many, you may have put on the Corona 5, 10, or even 15 over the last 2 months. Well, the weather is warm and it's time to get that body back on track. At Clean Eats, we have you covered. Our weekly meal plan will quickly help you get back to where you want to be. Order online at cleaneats.com. Our cafe is back open, sanitized, and waiting to serve you healthy lunch and dinner options for dine-in, takeout, curbside, or even delivered through our delivery partners. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
There have been many changes in the automotive world. At Phelps Chevrolet, the Phelps boys are here to take care of you. Mike, Daryl, and 4 of Mr. Phelps' grandsons, Wade, Wes, Alan, and Clay. You see, things at Phelps remain the same. The Phelps team has served Eastern North Carolina for over 50 years. We make your visit easy and fun. We are your neighbors, and that's what neighbors do. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Like Mr. Phelps' great-granddaughter says, come in and get you one.
Hey, this is Jay from Villa Verde. Did you know that Villa Verde opened up its second location? Yes, it's Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard across the hospital. This new location is a fast, casual environment where you can make your own bowls for only $9.95. Choose from our fresh ingredients from our toppings bars or enjoy an amazing rotisserie chicken. We promise you can be in and out in less than 15 minutes. For a quick, healthy meal at an affordable price, visit us at Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard. Villa Verde, a platform for good.
Pirate Radio.
It's going to change. I promise you. As I stand here, it will change. Okay, and when it does, that stadium, it's going to be rocking, and heaven help whoever walks in there to play us.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by the Auto Store Group. Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Hey, live well, move more, and hurt less with Kinetic Physical Therapy. If you're recovering from an injury, getting back into sports, dealing with everyday pain or fatigue, then Kinetic Physical Therapy can help you get back on track and live well. Kinetic has national certified therapists for physical, occupational, speech, and massage therapy, all in a state-of-the-art facility on Arlington Boulevard in Greenville. Visit Kinetic PT, Greenville.
And Bryce Williams here on a Wednesday edition of Pirate Radio Live. We had a great giveaway today in our Pirate Radio booty bag, and we have a contest going on Instagram right now. So make sure you're following us on our social media platforms. We have giveaways on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can follow us at pr927fm.com. Coming up, if you're listening to our live edition of the show, we've got a brand new Pirate Radio podcast on the way. Coach Mac and Jonathan Ellerby, Coach Mac McCarthy, talking about his new book. Got a lot of great stories, so stick around for that. And the Braves play the Orioles, and if a tweet I just received is right, Cole Hamels will be making his Braves debut tonight. So the old veteran lefty on the mound for Atlanta. Also, we're talking about the potentially having no bowl games. Brad on Twitter says no bowl games would mean no 40 bowls in 14 days. That would suck. Sincerely, huge fan of the song. Man, I forgot about that. That would be a bad casualty to all of this if we can't play our 40 bowls in 14 days theme song anymore, Shirley Rhodes. But
I was actually looking for it.
I don't know where that would be amongst. It could be in the sports bar folder if that's still a thing. The music aspect of the show, because is Chan Man. Here we go.
14 days. 14
I don't know if this will get us kicked off or not once the other music comes in.
Well, Glenn will let us know.
40 bowls in 14 days.
14 days.
14 days.
40 bowls in 14 days.
This is when it cranks up, Bryce.
14 days.
There we go.
Days. 40 bowls in 14 days.
Who is singing that?
40 bowls.
Some guy with a lot of talent is all I know.
Some guy who's got a lot of time on his hands.
All right, 40 bowls in 14 days. That is when we preview every single bowl game. Football playoff song we'll have to make, I guess. Yeah, whatever we got, we'll update the song. How about that? That is our gift to at least Brad, who likes it. I don't know about the rest of you. All right, we do have a segment that we run every Wednesday on Pirate Radio Live, and that is Pirate Radio Outdoors with Bryce Williams. He tells us what he did over the weekend in a boat, in a deer stand, everything in between. So, Bryce, tell us about your big weekend that you just had.
Well, fortunately, I was able to go home and had some, obviously, from hunting with my buddies. Went hunting Saturday evening, which during this early bow season and early season, it just prime time. The guys know what prime time, that prime hour, or the magical hour, whatever you want to call it. We know they're just going to be moving. Well, we did have a lot of movement and saw a handful of deer, some turkeys, but the only thing that came into range was a mama with a doe with her 3 youngins. So ethically, you just say, okay, just of course the mature does or young does that would have been shot were out of range and crossing the field, and so I was kind of like, dang, I thought I was going to be hooked up and thinking, man, I'm going to shoot a deer opening weekend with my bow. Haven't done that in several years, and not have to worry about deer meat till probably November before a rifle comes in. Okay. So a good weekend to be outside, and like I said, you be able to deer hunt and fish and all in one weekend is pretty good.
I'm ignorant to this, Bryce. How important are the points?
The antler?
Is that
if I shoot an 8-pointer, but he's only 16 inches wide, 110 inches, and then my buddy, whoever you for instance, shoots a 8-pointer, but he's 18 to 20, scoring 130. That's quite a big difference. So it's definitely, you do the trophy part of it, and obviously there's mature. You go for mature deer. You don't want to shoot a 2.5-year-old, who looks fairly impressive, but know what he can be in say another year or 2 years and things like that. So killed one in a while.
Yeah,
I don't have anything too impressive. A few that worthy of mountain. Just a big 7-pointer and mature 6-pointer. When you hear 6-pointer, you're like, man, that's not all that, but not all of them grow to have 8 points or 10 points. You can get mature deer that are 5 years old and they're just really big 6-pointers. Mine was probably 3.5, but he had good mass and everything. I deemed him worthy. So yeah, but I'm still waiting for that, that real impressive one. So we'll see if it comes this year.
Pirate Radio Outdoors with Bryce Williams. Shirley, any questions for Bryce? Or hunting tips for Bryce?
I don't hunt, so
okay.
I mean the closest hunting I've ever done is duck hunt. So
hey,
that is
great.
The video game.
Oh, hoping I think it's supposed to rain. I was supposed to go fishing with a buddy on my boat tomorrow evening, but rain, sprinkle, cold, whatever, I'm gonna be fishing. So hopefully catch some trout or something. Because I think they're starting to move a little bit. Not quite, but just what I see on Instagram and from the
just said. Because I did. I kind of speak. I can understand the words he's saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what all of them mean per se. But I can speak.
The West Central.
Okay.
Part of the state.
All right.
No, that would be my brother, but Colin.
So, there you go.
Nothing. The only one, I got some smaller bucks that are just, you cap them off. You cut the top of the skull off. I got some of those, but that 6-pointer he had decent mass, and he was the first one. I was like, man, I might as well just go ahead and mount him. So nothing too crazy yet. I wish I was like my buddy, but
the year,
we'll see.
2020 is the year for an all CF. Sounds good.
Definitely.
You pumped? So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Pirate Radio Live, an exclusive presentation of The Voice.